Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, upgrade to a Tempur-Pedic and learn how you can get 3% back plus an instant gift. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Progressive presents Heroes That Keep Truckers Going. Today's hero, the true crime podcaster you listen to during a long haul. Yes, you may never look at a pair of pliers the same way again, or your spouse using pliers. But boy, you were entertained. Thanks, hero. Another thing that can keep truckers going, Progressive Truck Insurance with primary liability limits up to $2 million. Get a quote at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. $2 million limit is not available in all states.
KCUV Tucson, a Cumulus Media station. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, the quarterfinals of the World Cup underway, and we are just about to the conclusion of the first match. And to say the least, it has been all France today as they are about to beat Morocco by a score of 2-0. So we didn't get anything from Morocco. What did we need from them today in our top play? We needed them to score. We need them to at least score a goal in regular time. It does not appear we're going to get that goal from Morocco.
We need a full,
today.
fabulous flow. That's what we needed. Yes.
Morocco clearly did not have any full, fabulous flow in this game today. So the first team on to the semifinals is France, as it is now gone full time, and they beat Morocco 2-0. They'll play the winner of Spain and Belgium next Tuesday in the semifinals. That'll be down in Dallas, Texas. One game today, one game tomorrow, and then 2 games on Saturday as we go through the quarterfinal round of the World Cup.
And if people remember, France was the prohibitive favorite coming into this year's World Cup. Mm-hmm. It was France followed by Spain and Argentina. Those were the 3 favorites. So, but France was picked at plus 500 to win this whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Mbappe got another goal today. Again, we've talked about this. It's been the stars of each of these teams that has gotten to this point have showed up in terms of goal scoring. And Kylian Mbappe it was a 0-0, 0-0 game through the first 45 minutes, and France got both their goals in the second half, one of those coming from the young star Mbappe. So they are now on. Tomorrow, it'll be in the second quarterfinal game, Spain and Belgium. Got a top play coming up for you later on that game. And then I mentioned 2 games on Saturday to round out this round of play. You will get, obviously, Argentina will be playing on Saturday, Argentina and Switzerland, and then Norway and England. Norway and England, that game will be down in Miami at Hard Rock Stadium. That'll be the first of the 2 games on Saturday. Argentina and Switzerland will be playing in Kansas City on Saturday.
By the way, real quick, we all know Mbappe because he's been a name on the scene now for about 10 years. But the other guy who scored today, DK, Ousmane Dembele, was last year's Ballon d'Or winner as the best player on the planet and is actually the favorite to win this year as well. So a ton of talent on that French national team.
They've got some dudes, as we like to say here in the United States. They've got some dudes for sure. All right, if you watch that game today, 520-848-1290. If you are from France here in Tucson, we want to hear from you today. How are you feeling about your national team? If you're from Morocco and you're living here in Southern Arizona, how are you feeling after your team could not score a goal today and did not win us any money, which is the most important thing always? Did not happen today. All right, obviously a lot going on as we begin to turn the page here. This is, we've officially hit the new, what we like to call the new calendar for college athletics. The turn of the calendar into the new fiscal year starts July 1st. So we are starting to get ready for what is going to be what we hope an exciting school year in 26-27 for your Arizona Wildcats. And got started this week with the Big 12 Media Days down in Dallas, or suburban Dallas, Texas, Frisco, Texas, at the Star, which is the practice home or the training home of the Dallas Cowboys. The second straight year that they've had that event down there. And your Arizona Wildcats, we had a chance to speak to the media yesterday, and we heard from them. And we'll go get you some of what came out of this weekend. We've got some big-time games on the schedule this year for the University of Arizona. The first big game is in week 2. The Wildcats are going to go on the road to take on BYU, a little bit of a different schedule. As we mentioned, they won't play their 3 non-conference games up front. They'll play a non-conference game opener against Northern Arizona, and then it's right into the fire at BYU. And you'll remember when they went to BYU a couple of years ago in their first four-way to Provo, it did not go well. It is not an easy place to play, and it's certainly not a place you really want to go that early in the season. But you're going to find out a lot. This Arizona team is going to find out a lot about itself very early on. That game will set the tempo, I think. You'll kind of have you'll kind of know what you have and where you need to go from there. So there's positives and negatives to having to go to Provo in week 2. You probably prefer not to have to do that, but hey, that's what the schedule says you have to do. Kalani Sitake is the head coach at BYU, and this past season was very interesting. Some teams came talking to Kalani Sitake, trying to maybe see if they could lure him out of Provo, Utah.
He was the longest tenured, right? Like after Willingham.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At Utah, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, he's been there, I think he's, I don't know exactly how many years.
I'll look it up. Yeah, I'll look it up.
Yeah, how many years he's been there. But he's a guy that's BYU. I mean, when you think about coaches who have connections to their programs, Kalani Sitake is one of those guys. And it's interesting. We have, quite a few guys. Excuse me. Still getting over a little bit of a cold here.
Philly cold.
Yeah, exactly. Hot cold.
Philly cold at
Right,
101 degrees.
Yeah, it's the difference in atmosphere from those two places. 11 seasons, by the way, for
11
Sitake.
seasons.
Yeah. 2016.
Yeah, but it's interesting that you do have quite a few coaches here in the Big 12 Conference that have long-standing connections or some past connections to their current schools that they're working for, and Kalani Sitake is obviously one of those. He talked about being courted by some of those other schools this offseason and his decision not to leave Provo, Utah.
It feels great to be wanted in a lot of different places, to be contacted by a number of places, but I'm BYU through and through. I grew up BYU. I cheered for BYU. I don't never remember starting. I just always did. And people in my neighborhood in Hawaii were playing for BYU at the time. And so then I got to play for the legend Lavelle Edwards, and then got into a coaching career and had the chance to go back and be the head coach. And so while this all said and done, I've always been a BYU fan from the beginning, before I was a head coach and before I was a player for a legend. And so I think the fan in me, once the fans reached out and showed their love and appreciation, I think it was really hard for me to not appreciate it. And probably took it for granted a little bit. And so it's nice to go through that moment of humility and to be thankful for that opportunity, but just really be happy for what I have and be grateful for the position that I'm in right now.
81-44 in 10 seasons at BYU is Kalani Sitake. So that's again, what have I always said in terms of, if you can average 8 wins a year, your program is in the right space. That's what I've always wanted for the University of Arizona, for them to be able to average right around 8 wins, because there's going to be years where if you can be around 8 wins, there's going to be years like the last 2 for BYU where you fall into 11 or 12 wins. But 3 years ago they only won 5 games, so there's going to be some years you're never going to generally drop way off. There might be some years where you only win 6-7 games, but there's going to be years where you can fall into double-digit wins. And they've done that now 4 times in the last 6 seasons for Kalani Sitake. They've been in double digits and 23 wins the last 2 years.
How many coaches has Arizona had in the same time that Sitake's been at BYU?
Ooh.
3?
Since 2016.
Four, because you go back to Rich Rod.
So
Rich Rod.
the connectivity
Right.
in retaining your coaching staff, and especially in the recruiting landscape of the NIL and transfer portal and everything else, it's so important. And obviously, Kalani coming from that program, Dragon Ball, and being a big part of it, and then continuing his legacy as the head coach. 11 years is a long time, and that continuity, season to season to season, and doing big things up there, obviously has a lot to do with, first of all, he's a great coach. And second of all, just the fact that he's been there for so long, and recruits know that when he says, I'm going to be there for the 3 years that you're going to be on campus, that he means it.
And Brigham Young, just again, that is when we'll get into the Directors Cup. We haven't really talked about that, the final Directors Cup standing, but BYU had the highest ranking of all of the teams in the Big 12, led by their football program, but all their sports programs there. They've done a tremendous job. And I'll go back to, when this whole thing kind of transpired, 3 years ago when the realignment thing was going. I said that the Wildcats, wherever they go, they need to be in a conference with BYU because to me, I thought it was a natural rivalry, and I think we're starting to see that now going into year 3 in the Big 12 in all of the sports, whether it be some tremendous basketball games that they've played between, the Wildcats and Cougars on the men's side. And football has obviously been that way, and we've seen it in some of the other sports as well. Baseball, softball, the rivalry with BYU is going to be huge, I think, across the board for the University of Arizona moving forward as we grow up a little bit more in this Big 12 conference. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Now, of course, the big story going into the Big 12 football media days was Texas Tech and the situation surrounding Brendan Sorsby this summer, and the commissioner quickly put the kibosh on that. First question he was asked the other day in the Q&A, and he put the kibosh on the story, saying, hey, this is not the time to talk about all of that. What's going on with all of that. We're here to celebrate our 16 schools and whatnot. But one person that was also asked about that was the head coach at Texas Tech. You figured Joey McGuire was going to have to address this situation in Frisco, and he did just that. Let's hear what Joey McGuire had to say about the fallout from the Brendan Sorsby news cycle.
One thing that I truly believe in is to bring a team together. Shared success is part of it, but shared adversity brings you even closer. And, the last couple months we've gone through some adversity. I do believe if you walked into our building every single day and you walked into the weight room and the workouts or football school, you wouldn't know that anything was going on. And a big part of that has been Ben and Sheridan. We met multiple times. With them being our two captains, and really I talked through this with those guys and how they felt and what we wanted to do, and they've been incredible. I'm really fortunate. We've got a really strong leadership group. Cam Dickey, Jacoby Williams, Howard Sampson, guys like that, and just really strong people, and they've kept us focused on football. At no point did I feel over the last few months that anything's taken away from the football as far as in the building.
Left center, third row.
Joey, Barry Trammell, Tulsa World. I understand all the reasons that Tech supported Brendan Sorsby the way they did, but did any of it come at a cost to your reputation or those things, or do you have to do any restoration in that regard?
That's a great question, man. It's good to see you, too. And it's tough. The thing for me that through all of this, my president and my AD, who are good friends of mine, who believed in me, who hired me, they went through a lot. Like, if you look as a whole, there were not a lot of coaches that said really a whole lot. There was some funny jabs taken by some coaches, but there wasn't a lot of coaches that just really came out and said a lot of different things. And so for my peers, I got a lot of support. You know, Eric Morris, the first day any news broke, called me and said, hey, man, I'm just doing a well check. He's a good friend of mine. Kalani is a great friend of mine. Said the same thing. Kenny Dillingham made a joke in a group text and then called me and said, you know, I was kidding. I said, Kenny, dude, I get it, man. So for me, my peers, I had so much support from my peers. And it was tough to you know, see Kirby and President Skubanek have to go through that. And so, you know, I hate that for them. You know, the thing that we really try to focus on is the Red Raiders and our alumni base and our boosters. And so that's who, you know, whenever I've talked to, answered any emails, text, or anything like that, those are the ones that I'm concerned to make sure they understand where we were coming from.
You know, that's the interesting thing, and we haven't really maybe gotten into this, was just kind of what the other coaches, you know, we've talked about, you know, how the fans feel about it and the ADs. We talked a lot about the ADs when that whole thing was transpiring and the commissioner and Brett Yormark, but there really wasn't a lot of chatter about, well, what do the coaches, how do the coaches feel about what this is? I mean, even Kalani Sitake, who you just heard from, came out this week and said, hey, I love Joey McGuire. You know, Joey McGuire, he knows the way to my heart, and that's by buying me a meal. So I think the coaches, and I, you know, I don't know that anybody's asked Brent about it per se, because I have not heard Brent Brennan speak on it. But I think in terms of the coaching side of it, those guys tend to stick together on a lot of instances like this.
I'm just curious when a Texas Tech rep will speak about any of this without coming from a victimhood place.
Yes.
Like, that's my only issue. Every single person from the president to Cody to Joey McGuire, head coach Joey McGuire, it feels like all of the references are as if there's external pressures pressuring in on Lubbock that they had no control over, as opposed to them causing it. That's my only issue with all of it.
Well, you just got to go ahead and be like us. You got to be like us.
That's what Cody said. Yeah.
Get all the money that you can to go ahead and get beyond these problems. It's like, okay, guys, let's not change the subject. Let's focus on what it is we're talking about here.
I just wish we could have an honest conversation about what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Which is student athletes betting in the sports that they're playing in, people. Come on. Like, the idea that he was suspended and then a judge came out and all this stuff, if they just said, hey, maybe we should evaluate the situation, and we obviously, all the things they said, DK, about wanting the best for the student athlete who has an addictive issue. That's the way they talked about it, which is great. Of course you want to help student athletes with any troubles they have going on campus. But just completely stonewalling any decision by the NCAA and saying we're playing him this year, we don't care what you say, is what kicked all this off. They aren't exactly the victims in the situation. I'm just glad that there was a clean exit into the supplemental draft, which obviously didn't happen, and obviously he won't go to the CFL. But if this had lingered, guys, over the season and he had stayed on campus there, I mean, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about Brennan Sorsby not playing in the Big 12 anymore. I just would love to hear one of the Red Raiders spokespersons say, we'd like to evaluate our process. Potentially we made some mistakes. Just that. Potentially we made some mistakes along the way, and we're going to look into it. We're just glad everybody's, healthy and happy and all that.
All right, we're going to talk a lot of soccer today, locally and worldly. The 2-0 win for France tonight in the quarterfinals. That has just gone full-time here recently. We're going to talk some FC Tucson coming up as Mateo Stoka is going to join us on the show. They've got a huge game at the stadium on Friday night. DK on the Sports Tip. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5. She's got your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic. And weather together. Collision far out south on I-19 near Rio Rico. Crash reported northbound I-19 near Rio Rico. Earlier crash Cold Road and Irvington. It is clearing. Still some slowing on Cold Road approaching Irvington. An extreme heat warning until 8 tonight. There's about a 15% chance of rain later this afternoon. 81 the overnight low, 105 tomorrow, 108 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather
This
together.
report is sponsored by Lowe's. It's MyLowe's Money Days through July 12. Members instantly get extra MyLowe's money on a purchase of $200 or more. MyLowe's Money Awards varies based on status. Members in gold get 30, silver get 20, and bronze get 10. MyLowe's Money valid for 30 days. Restrictions and more terms at Lowe's.com/MyLowe's Money Days.
With Bet365 Early Payout, you win even if they lose. lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona.
We all know just because gifts for loved ones can look like flowers, a spa day, or maybe even planning date night. But what about something that will truly last and protect your loved ones along the way? I'm talking about life insurance. I called SelectQuote to secure our coverage and couldn't believe how easy and affordable it was. I'm 40, and my $500,000 policy was only $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. And with their same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. With monthly payments less than the cost of a bouquet of flowers, this is the perfect time to make sure your family is protected.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-596-2626 or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-596-2626. 1-800-596-2626.
Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Good evening, ma'am. We're the Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team, here for the overnight install of your new AC unit.
Great. Come in. We're so excited for a sleepover.
Oh, well, we're actually putting you and your family up in a hotel for the night. We work while you sleep.
Oh.
Okay, who's ready for a movie night? Popcorn or s'mores?
You know, that sounds pretty good.
No, it doesn't.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. Providing overnight installs so you don't miss work or leisure time with your family. GoodfellasAC.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Summer's finally here, and we're kicking it off with a whole lot of free. Free brake pads with Duralast rotors. Free oil filter with 5 quarts of oil. Free Armor All wipes with Armor All glass cleaner, and more. More free, so you can have more summer. Celebrate free at AutoZone. Now through July 27th. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
There he is, Mr. Big Time Capital One Bank guy.
Mom, please.
Well, look at this Capital One Cafe. I just might move in.
Or just drop by. Capital One cafes are open 7 days a week.
I could put my spoon collection right here by the ATM, yes.
Wow, you weren't kidding, Mom.
I never kid about the spoon collection, son. Oh, hey, what's that thing you always say?
There's no fees or minimums on Capital One checking accounts.
No, the other one.
What's in your wallet?
Oh, that's my boy.
Terms apply. Visit CapitalOne.com/bankguide for details. Capital One and name member FDIC.
Look, I know we live in a swamp, but our appliances don't have to be as disgusting as this. We need to replace them before it's too late.
Trick, you gotta keep Fiona happy, and I know just the place. Tucson Appliance.
Welcome to Tucson Appliance, where we have the best prices on an abundance of appliances.
If we get this one, they can deliver tomorrow. And in the morning, I'm making waffles.
That'll do, donkey. That'll do.
Now we can live happily ever after.
Only at Tucson Appliance,
where you are our priority.
John Jastremski here to help you beat the books with Westwood One Sports. So, you want to bet for the start of the NFL season? How about the idea of taking the Dallas Cowboys to go and win the NFC East? I know a lot of chatter. Giants head John Harbaugh as a head coach. Not ready to be all in on Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo, is Malik Neighbors ever going to play. The Eagles, they just said goodbye to A.J. Brown. In shoddy we trust. Give me Dallas to win the NFC East. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, huge game coming up Friday night right here in Tucson on the pitch as FC Tucson will be home, their final regular season game of the season. Will it be their final game, period? Well, that remains to be seen because they must win to have a chance to get in to the postseason. Now, they don't control their own destiny. They still need some help from their rivals, the VC Fusion. But big game out at Keno North Stadium tomorrow night. So get on out there and support the fellas. Let's chat with one of the members of FC Tucson. His name is Mateo Stoka. He joins us now. He's a midfielder out of Marquette University. Mateo, appreciate you taking some time to join us. I guess it doesn't matter what team you're playing on or what league you're in. Anytime you have a must-win situation, there's nothing more fun for that. So I know you guys have probably been having a whole lot of fun the last couple of days getting ready for what you need to do tomorrow night.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you guys having me on. I think, leading up to it, obviously the nerves are there, but I think we've had a good couple games strung together, and I think going into it, it's kind of the same mentality that we've been doing lately. It's just another game and kind of going with the same preparation.
So I mentioned you're currently playing at Marquette. You actually started your career at Pittsburgh University playing for the Panthers. How did you find FC Tucson? How did you become a part of this summer side here in the USL2? Yeah,
actually, one of my teammates at Marquette last year was here, Justin Milovanov. He spoke very highly of the team, of the club. And then my coach at Marquette has a good relationship with Sebas, so it kind of one thing just led to another, and I knew I wanted to be in a professional environment, and that's just what FC Tucson offered.
Yeah, what have you kind of learned this summer that you can take with you now once you go back to your collegiate side?
Yeah, I think, like I said, just being in a professional environment, obviously, you're not given anything. You got to earn your role in any position you're in. And early on in the season, I think, not to say it was a rough start, but I kind of, I wasn't in the place that I wanted to be. So I think being able to put your head down and just kind of grind, and no matter what circumstances you're in, you just got to kind of push through. So I think that'll be a key takeaway for me.
Mateo Stoka is our guest. He's a midfielder for FC Tucson. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Mateo, you grew up in a soccer family. Your father played professionally here in the MLS, and your mother also played collegiately. Is that correct?
Yeah, my mom did a little bit of professional soccer as well, which is where my parents met. So it was kind of just instilled in me from the beginning.
So what was that like growing up in a soccer family? I mean, and not just a normal soccer family, but having professional soccer parents.
Yeah, I mean, my parents were always kind of the hands-off kind of parents. They never really pushed me to do anything. It was just kind of like they put me in sports, put a ball at my feet when I was young, and I just kind of ran with it, me and my brother both, since we were young, so kind of worked out.
We're chatting with Mateo Stoka from FC Tucson. So as you're starting to play the game, like you mentioned, your parents were kind of hands off. Who were some of the people that were teaching you this game? And did you go home and kind of have those conversations? Was Dad open enough that you could have those conversations about, the teachings and the learnings and kind of picking his brain on the sport?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they played a major role. Ever since I was young, my dream's always to be able to play professionally, and I think, I always spoke about that with my parents, and they kind of not forced me into it, but, they were always there to help. And whenever I, obviously kicking the ball around when I was younger with my dad, my mom, whoever it was, they were always there for me for that. So that was awesome. And then having a little brother as well that we're similar in age to where, we always kind of battled and competed in the backyard, at the park, wherever it was. So that kind of just, started it from a young age and never really stopped.
Now, you mentioned your little brother. Does he play collegiately as well?
He is going to be playing at the University of Pennsylvania this upcoming fall. Wow. So, yeah, he's going to be going into it as well.
There you go. He's got an eye going to an Ivy League school. Nothing wrong with that, for sure. Now, you all have – your dad was born in Argentina, correct? So you have kind of an Argentine background.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, I'm sure you guys are watching the World Cup. Last game, I have no more nails on my fingers, so definitely that side of soccer and just the culture has been instilled into us since we were young. So, I'd like to think it's helped me as a player and a person, but yeah, I'm super nervous going into the game this weekend.
All right, so
Argentina, that is.
So is Messi your guy, or do you have is one of the other guys on the team that you like to watch?
Absolutely. Of course, Messi, just because of what he's done for the game and for Argentina. I think personally, being a midfielder, I've grown to like Rodrigo de Paul, if you guys know who that is. So yeah, I mean, Argentina ride or die for me.
So let me ask you this question, because I mean, obviously, we've been talking a lot about just the dynamics of some of these national teams, and guys that are maybe grew up in one country but have a connection to another country and can play for have an option to play for several countries. Have you ever thought about that? If I ever got a chance to get to a national team level, would I play for the United States? Or if I could play for Argentina, maybe I play for Argentina. Have you ever thought about that as a soccer player coming up?
Yeah, of course I've thought about it. I think everyone does. To answer your question, I don't really know. I think it would be one of those things where it's kind of cross the bridge when you get there. But yeah, I mean, obviously just being surrounded by the Argentine culture and my dad and his family, I think it's just, something that I grew up in, and it just feels natural. But it would be hard to decline U.S. Obviously, we're born and raised. So I don't know. To answer your question, no clue.
So what's been your impression of this World Cup tournament? There's many people that believe that this might be one of the best tournaments of all time. And the one thing we've kind of talked about is it just seems like all the major stars have really stepped up in this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just talking to one of my roommates here, and we were just saying like how many goals these guys are scoring, what the record is. It's insane. Obviously, the extra game is helping, but yeah, I definitely think it's one of the better ones, especially being in the States and being able to. I was lucky enough to go to one of the games, Argentina versus Austria, which was awesome. So I think we're biased as Americans, but yeah, I definitely think it's one of the better World Cups.
So now you said you went to one of the games?
Yeah, I went out to Dallas a couple weeks ago when they played Austria, so that was an awesome experience.
Wow. So how did that come about?
I mean, like I said, my dad and his brother are both kind of diehard Argentine fans, and they were going, and they said, we can get you a cheap ticket. I ended up sitting up in the nosebleeds while they were sitting in the lower bowl, which was an experience in and of itself. But just to be able to be in the stadium was awesome.
Now, did your little brother get to go too?
Yeah, my little brother and my two cousins. So the whole family was there cheering him on.
Wow. So dad and his brother were down low, and you guys were up top, but everybody was there. That had to have been so cool. Had you ever been to a World Cup event before?
I have not. That was my first. I've been to a couple like Copa America games and stuff like that, but obviously World Cup's different energy, different juice, so it was an awesome experience.
Now, you've got a little thing going on the side where you are kind of starting your own business, kind of with supplements for soccer athletes or maybe athletes as a whole.
Yeah.
Let us know a little bit about your business and what you have going on.
Yeah, so me and my brother started this about a year ago. I mean, it's been going on for a while, but really started to take it serious. What it is, it's called M2S Performance. And it's essentially a daily supplement pack, 30 days, 28 days for soccer players. And it kind of just rooted because my mom's a nutritionist. And ever since we were little, we've always just been all about supplementation and basically taking what the nutrients that the body doesn't get from food naturally. And we found, the biggest issue is just knowing what to take and staying consistent enough to take it. So we decided to start this business. And yeah, it's been awesome. It's been a great learning experience. Obviously, being able to interact with fellow athletes to kind of see that they're having the same issues. And yeah, we're actually officially launching July 16th, open to the public. Right now, we've been working with a bunch of fellow athletes just to kind of see how their body feels after taking it for a month. But yeah, it's been super fun, and we've been learning a lot, that's for sure.
So how do you make a supplement? Do you guys, is there an actual design concept for the pills or however they're put together?
Yeah, so like I said, we always worked with my mom and doing the research and kind of going off what she has always told us in terms of what the best supplements to take are for athletes. And then in terms of getting the supplements itself, we basically work through a third party that kind of creates, obviously we created the logo, the branding, all that kind of stuff. And what they do is pack it up for us into our packaging. And, it's a private label essentially. So we work with them and then obviously sell it off online through our website to all our customers.
And you've kind of tested it out with athletes already. What was some of the feedback you got from the folks that you were testing it with?
Yeah, I mean, obviously beyond just, speaking from personal experience and what they've told us is like the hardest thing with supplements is staying on it, right? There's one day where you forget or you have to always bring the bottles with you. So I think having the ease of taking it every single day in little individualized packets has been a huge plus. And then obviously the main reason is how you feel, right? So better sleep, better recovery the day after games. I mean, even personally, like the day after a game, usually your legs are dead. And, I've been taking the pack myself the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks or so. And, you just feel like you're ready to go again the next day, which is, it's huge. And we're super excited to see where it goes.
So what do you think? How will this relate to your future, Max? Will you think you'll have a future in training of some sort, after your playing days are over?
Yeah, I don't know. I've always been the kind of guy that is just creative in the entrepreneurial lifestyle. I've graduated with a finance degree, so I could see myself in that field. But I think I've owned like 3 different businesses throughout my childhood, whether it be shoe reselling, just kind of dumb stuff to make cash. So I think, I see myself just being the kind of guy that starts his own business. If I'm not playing pro or forever along, I can do that for, I'd like to be something. I don't know if it's necessarily hands-on with athletes itself, but doing something where I can, start my own business and help out people in some way or another.
All right, so answer this question for me. If Argentina does not win the World Cup, who does?
Ooh, I think Spain.
Ooh.
I can't say France. I'm anti-France ever since the last World Cup.
You got to stay with your loyalties. Got to stay with your loyalties.
Yeah.
Although France looked real impressive today against Morocco.
Yeah, they did. They are definitely scary.
All right, who's the best midfielder in your opinion right now?
In the world?
Yeah.
I think Jude Bellingham. That guy's sick.
Jude Bellingham from England.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey, Max, I'm sorry, Mateo. Max is his dad. Mateo, we appreciate you taking some time to join us. Good luck tomorrow night. It's you guys got a huge match coming up. Got to win to get in. So everybody get on out to Keno North Stadium and support the boys in black because they need your support tomorrow night as they get set to try to continue their season with a victory coming up tomorrow night, 7 o'clock out at Keno North Stadium. Mateo. Do you go by Matt or Mateo?
Nah, Mateo or Teo.
Teo. Okay, there we go. Well, I like nicknames. Mateo, best of luck tomorrow night and continued success with your branding concept that you've got going on with your brother.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And thank you guys for taking the time to have me out. Appreciate it.
There we go. Mateo Stoka from FC Tucson. We'll have more on that match coming up for you as we go throughout the show tomorrow night. I have not seen a game this year, but I am definitely going to get out there tomorrow night to see FC Tucson as they try to play for a spot in the postseason. Must win Friday night against Capo FC, 7 o'clock at Keno North Stadium. It'll be Fan Appreciation Night presented by Vantage West. DK on the Sports Tip, 520-848-1290 is the number. Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, we're going to talk some more soccer with our guy Ted Przelski from the Tucson Sentinel. We'll get his thoughts on. He's been watching. He's been going to like all kinds of watch parties around Southern Arizona, like just not like Mexico and U.S. in the U.S. He's been like watching games with the Iran folks and some other country folks as well. So we'll get an assessment from Ted about all the different watch parties that he's gone to during this tournament. So
it's Andres Iniesta, by the way.
Andre
Iniesta is the best midfielder. He didn't. He I think he retired, but he was Messi's teammate at Barcelona for 12 years. Best Best number 10 ever, and with the best midfielder, number 8 ever, Andres Iniesta. That's my favorite midfielder of all time.
All right. There you go. Andre Iniesta.
Bro, go to YouTube and type his name in. You'll see what I mean.
Okay. We'll watch some videos during the break. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5. She's got your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Crash reported out to the south on I-19 near Rio Rico. Reported off on the shoulder, right shoulder, from northbound I-19 near Rio Rico. Usual slowdowns on Speedway at Main Avenue, also on westbound Speedway at I-10. Travel picking up some slowing westbound Miracle Mile at Flowing Wells. An extreme heat warning until 8 p.m. tonight, 81 the low, 105 tomorrow, 108 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Trouble sleeping lately? Upgrade to the great sleep you deserve at Mattress Firm's July 4th sale. Choose from a curated selection of top brands and let their sleep experts help you narrow it down. They make sleep easy.
Did you hear what we're talking about?
In full fabulous flow. Pepe down the left-hand side.
It wouldn't be the beautiful game without some full fabulous flow. Christian Pulisic.
Gotta have it, man. Gotta have it.
DK on the Sports Tip, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Presented by Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Find a store at metalsupermarkets.com. Today at the World Cup, France taking on Morocco. France has been the best team and the most dominant team in the tourney. France has scored 14 goals and only conceded 2. Morocco finished in 4th place in the last World Cup. This should be a fantastic matchup to get the round of 8 started. I'm Chris Black.
When you first saw her, she was out walking her dog. You didn't notice her at first. But when you finally did, it was too late. Because at that moment, you were speeding. She was out walking her dog and only had a second to let go of the leash. Your foot was on the gas, and her life was on the line. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tobacco Barn presents the continuing saga of Captain Tobacco.
We now join our damsel in distress tied to the railroad tracks, a victim of high tobacco prices.
Help! Somebody save me!
Never fear, my dear. Captain Tobacco is here.
Captain, high prices are coming down the track.
You'll never stop my high prices. Pardon me while I untie this fair lady.
It's Tucson's only place to save up to 40% on all your favorite tobacco products.
There, you're free.
My hero.
Drats.
You'll pay no city or state sales tax because they're on the reservation. And save up to another $3 off with a coupon at tobaccobarntucson.com.
Now for you, high prices, I dare ya. Hooray! That's why I'm Captain Tobacco, finding high tobacco prices everywhere.
Captain, I could just kiss you.
Oh, no.
Oh, brother. Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check tobaccobarntucson.com.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46, and I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. Pay testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hey there, pizza and ice cream lovers! Get excited because Happy Joe's Pizza and Ice Cream is now open at the Oro Valley Marketplace. We've got something for everyone: a private party room, arcade, golf simulator, and even a coin-operated train to keep the little ones entertained. Hungry? Dive into our weekday lunch buffet or have a leisurely Sunday brunch with a stunning view of Push Ridge. Be sure to ask about our new secret menu launching in July, featuring all things watermelon. If you can't stop in, enjoy free delivery through August, and now delivering to our friends in Saddlebrook. Catch every minute of the International Soccer Tournament on our more than 25 TVs. That's Happy Joe's Pizza and Ice Cream at the Oro Valley Marketplace. Come for the pizza, stay for the fun.
And this Friday, we've got a Happy Joe's Pizza and Ice Cream sweet deal for you. You can get a $50 gift certificate for just $25. And this sweet deal will go on sale this Friday morning at 8:30 at WildcatsRadio1290.com.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
It's July in Tucson. No time to gamble on a cheap AC install. Some of the other AC names got bought out by investment companies and won't stand behind their installs. We stand behind our installs with a 1-year money-back guarantee. Family owned since 2001, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. Call 520-492-0748 or online at picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Arizona is where we live and work. Unlike many other law firms, Arizona is our home. They call us the Eagle because with every 5-star review, our reputation soars, and we've got thousands. You also won't see our lawyers on billboards because they're busy representing Arizona clients. We're Goldberg & Osborne, Arizona's leading injury law firm. Call today at 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on this program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We've got round 3 tonight here in the desert. WNBA between the Phoenix Mercury and the Indiana Fever. Now, the bad news, if you're headed up to this game, and if you are headed up to this game, please check in with us here at 520-848-1290. The bad news is that Caitlin Clark is not going to be playing in this game tonight. I don't know, how many trips, if this is their only trip here this year.
I'll look it up for you.
The Fever, but yeah, you don't get too many opportunities, obviously, to see Caitlin Clark, and you won't be getting a chance to see her tonight. She came back last night from injury. She's been out for a few weeks. It was a game that did not go well for the Fever in Los Angeles against the Sparks. They lost by 14, 106-92. So the plan has always been for her not to play any back-to-backs currently, coming off of her most recent injury. She played just 16 minutes last night, did Caitlin. Scored 9 points, went 4 of 12, just 1 of 6 from 3, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, turned it over 4 times. Let's hear from Stephanie Miller, the head coach of the Fever, on Caitlin's performance.
Look, anytime you've missed, a couple weeks, it's going to take some time to get acclimated. I think it's going to take some time to build endurance. She hadn't really been able to practice all that much either. They pressured 94 feet, so again, you got to make sure that you're able to withstand some of that. It's never easy when you're reintegrating, after injury. So I thought she did some really good things. It's just a tough scenario when you're on a minutes restriction and you're trying to get back into rhythm throughout the course of the season. So she's going to continue to be better, and we're going to continue to be better, and as we get her back, working back in.
Coach, you mentioned earlier also that they were going to flip-flop. Caitlin will play today and Aaliyah play tomorrow. Was that decision based on about the opponents that you're playing?
No, I mean it was a conversation with the medical staff and sort of where we were in terms of when the injuries flared up and working our way back.
All right, so the question there was just basically is the reason she's sitting because of the opponent, which is the Phoenix Mercury. And this is the first time that these two teams have played since the dust-up on June the 24th, which was the second of the two games in Indiana, where Alyssa Thomas kind of came down on Caitlin Clark's neck, and that basically threw the entire world into a tizzy. A game that the Mercury won by a score of 111 to 109, but of course that is not the reason that she is not going to be playing in the game tonight. As we told you, they just have made the decision that she's not going to play in any back-to-backs. And if you've been following this league, you know there's a lot of back-to-backs in the WNBA because they play a large schedule in a short amount of time.
I do have an update on that schedule.
Yeah.
It's 5 or 6 games versus your conference opponents and 3 or 4 versus the opposite conference. And this is the third game versus Indiana and the final game of the season on the schedule.
Alyssa Thomas got a 1-game suspension in the aftermath of that exchange with Caitlin Clark when she came pressed down on Clark's throat. It did not appear during play that it was anything nefarious, but the league reviewed it, and the suspension was thus handed out. Clark also sustained a back injury in that game, which caused her to have to miss the 2 games we talked about. She came back for the first time last night.
She had a lingering issue on her back going into, that's been going on for quite some time and aggravated again in a different play during that game.
Now, again, the popular thing apparently this season is everybody's doing somebody's podcast in the WNBA. So Aaliyah Boston was on, I guess she hosts her own podcast. It's called Post Moves. So she said on her podcast Monday that the foul by Thomas, that should have never been done. You don't put your hand on someone's throat. Obviously, the league suspending Thomas was the right call. That was what she said on her podcast this week. We're going to get to what Sophie Cunningham said on a podcast as well. She got into it, you'll remember, in that second game with DeWanna Bonner, and they had a little bit of a finger-pointing kind of thing. Mercury lost the game on Tuesday night to the Chicago Sky. The positive thing that came out of that, though, was the fact that DeWanna Bonner joined the 8,000-point club in that game, becoming just the 3rd player in the history of the league to score 8,000 or more points. Her former teammate, obviously, being one of those 2 other players, Diana Taurasi, along with Tina Charles, and now DeWanna Bonner, the only 3 players in the history of the league to score more than 8,000 points. Let's hear from DeWanna on what it meant for her to join that elite company.
I think my kids were just being here to witness it for one. You know, they were in the stands, so that was pretty cool. And someone asked them did they, know what happened? And they actually knew. So it was oh wow, that kind of warmed my heart a little bit. But just being able to be around this long and put my name in the record books that'll probably be there forever. So I can't ask for a better career, a better WNBA career, a better start. It was a lot of roles, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. So, it's been a fun journey. Not saying it's over, but it has been a fun journey to 8,000.
DB, kind of going off of that, I guess Coach was kind of talking about not being able to savor this moment as much just because you guys did lose. But how do you try to balance enjoying the moment regardless of the outcome of the game?
Definitely the outcome, but like I said, my kids were here for it, and they don't get to be here for a lot of my milestones. So for them to be here for that was just huge, and the fact they actually understood what was going on was just oh man, that's pretty cool. So maybe they'll follow my footsteps one day and try to get 8,001.
There you go. Let's breed some more of those young players to get in the game and break mama's records. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Coach Nate Tibbetts called it one heck of an accomplishment because DeWanna Bonner helps set the standard for what the Mercury stand for, averaging 9 points a game this season. In fact, she's one of 5 Mercury scorers averaging at least 9 points behind Kalia Copper, who averages 21 on the season. All right, we'll get more into this game coming up tonight. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock up in the Valley. Again, the big news, though, is no Caitlin Clark for this round 3 between the Mercury and the Fever, as she will sit out the second night of a back-to-back due to her lingering back injury situation. We'll hear in the 4 o'clock hour, you will hear from Miss Sophie Cunningham, who, her and Dewana Bonner have kind of a thing going on. And she was on Shannon Spake's podcast, because everybody's doing a podcast right now. She was on Shannon Spake's podcast called Sons and Daughters and talked about her now viral finger-pointing incident with Dewana Bonner. And she had a very interesting nickname that she has bestowed upon Dewana Bonner. You'll hear that coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Right now, you're going to hear from Dragon Ball, because he's got everything happening in sports here in Southern Arizona, as well as sports around the entire world.
Well, the NBA Summer League in Vegas gets started today with a number of former Arizona Wildcats scheduled to go and be in action, including 5 members from Arizona's Final Four team just this past season. Today, Carter Bryant from the San Antonio Spurs went up against Atlanta in the contest that finished a little while ago. Bryant finished that game with 25 minutes on the court, 12 points, and 4 of 13 from the field there.
Bryant versus Vasar.
Yes, Bryant versus Vasar. This is true. Meanwhile, they will also have Anthony Del Orso going up against the Clippers at 8 p.m. tonight. Tomorrow, Braden Burries, Toby Awaka, Jaden Bradley, and Koa Pete all expected to see their action in games out in Vegas as well. And despite the ongoing holdout from quarterback Jacoby Brissett, the Cardinals' assumed Week 1 starter was seen connecting with a number of the Cardinals' pass catchers, including Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride and others, on a social media video earlier today. This follows after Brissett was present for mandatory minicamp but did not participate in the practice there. The two sides still working on a new contract for Brissett. Meanwhile, the World Cup back underway here with the quarterfinals starting up. France battling Morocco. And after a scoreless first half, it was France who found the back of the net first, thanks to one of their star strikers in Mbappe.
Mario heads it back in. Doué able to find Mbappe through traffic. Kylian Mbappe! 20 career World Cup goals! Gives France the lead in the quarterfinal.
And again, with that goal in the 60th minute, France took the lead, and later on, another added goal from Ousmane Dembele 6 minutes later proved to be the decider, as it was a 2-0 victory over Morocco as they now prepare for the winner of Spain and Belgium. And I'm Dragon Ball with your 2020 Sports Update on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Nobody covers your Cats like we do, with press conferences, coaches shows, and play-by-play.
It is over. Cats have won it.
We bring you all the stories, highlights, and analysis of your Arizona Wildcats. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Earlier crash reported on I-19 near Rio Rico, reported off on the right shoulder from the northbound side of I-19 near Rio Rico. Slowdowns, Miracle Mile at Flowing Wells, Speedway at Main Avenue, also busy on Alvernon at Grant. An extreme heat warning until 8 tonight. There's a slight chance, about a 15% chance of showers. 81 the low, 105 tomorrow, 108 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers.
The Eagle. Goldberg and Osborne has more than 2,200 5-star Google reviews. Like this one.
They made sure I got a great offer. Like a bulldog, they fought for me.
The bird is the word. Visit Goldberg and Osborne at 1-800-THEEAGLE.com.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code GROW to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code GROW to borrow up to $10,000. Use code GROW to borrow up to $10,000.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-466-9625. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-466-9625.
Oh my gosh, Ted, why are you digging up the yard?
I'm looking for that stupid pipe. The bathroom drain is still clogged.
Shouldn't we call Goodfellas AC and Plumbing? You know, the professionals?
I found the pipe.
Whatever clogs your drains, leave it to the professionals at Goodfellas AC and Plumbing. The choice your family can count on for quick, reliable plumbing service using Permaliner to fix pipes and drains without digging up the yard. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Your business isn't a science experiment. So at Cumulus Digital, we don't speculate, we execute with a proven framework delivering results 25% better than industry standards. Go to cumulusdigital.com, fill out our form, and move from guessing to knowing.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Tune to DK on the Sports Tip weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at iccu.com.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hour number 2 of our program on this Thursday. Join in with us at 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. NBA Summer League is underway in Las Vegas. The big to-do every year. I remember, I always tell the story. I remember back when the Summer League was at Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles back in the day. We used to go down there all the time. This is way back in the late 80s and 90s. And obviously now it is, how long has it been in Vegas now? Like
This is the
21st
year.
Yeah, 20 years plus. For sure. And there's always Arizona Wildcats there, and we'll be kind of keeping tabs on what's happening there. A lot of your second-year guys are back, like Carter Bryant, as Dragon Ball mentioned in his update. I'm sure is Caleb there as well with the Sixers now? Is he going to be? We don't.
Yeah, I mean, all second-year players pretty much show up, and generally the rule of thumb is you'll play at least 2, maybe 3 games, and then generally they'll shut them down. So the rookies, they're really trying to get up to speed on the pace and the physicality, and a lot of the guys playing in the summer league will not actually make the league. But it's a really good. The scoring doesn't matter, right? Like the guys who tear it up in summer league scoring wise doesn't tend to translate, but effort and energy does. And Carter Bryant last summer came out like his hair was on fire and got, was averaging like 2 steals, 2 blocks a game. All the commentators were going nuts about his physicality. I watched the entire game just now, just like I've watched every Carter Bryant game for the last 4 months. And he looked as lethargic and disinterested in the game as I maybe have ever seen him. So I don't know, like maybe Vegas, maybe had a little bit of I got that first year contract money and I'm spending time in Vegas the night before. But yeah, I mean, I know Carter's going to be definitely featured in the rotation next year for the Spurs who made the finals. But right now they're just trying to get him to work on those things they need in spots, which he did by bringing the ball up, DK. They had him start as point guard. So the first 10 plays of the game, he was bringing the ball up under pressure. But yeah, it's just kind of people are getting their feet, underneath them. And it's really, I think, more about a lot of the rookies showing out. And there's no doubt in about 2 hours when A.J. Debonsa and Darren Peterson match up against each other in their first game, there's going to be a little bit of a war there because one of them believes they should have been the number 1 pick and the other one has a lot to prove still.
Now, it's interesting because we mentioned, obviously, Caleb Love spent last year with Portland, but now he's with the Sixers. Normally, my understanding is the two-way deals tend to be for 2 years, but sometimes I guess a player can opt to only sign for 1, and I'm imagining that's what happened with Caleb Love because, I mean, obviously this is his second year in the league, so I was surprised when I saw that because – normally those go for 2 years, and I hadn't seen anything to where it indicated that Caleb had only signed a 2-year deal for 1 year with Portland. But obviously he was signed by Mike Gansey, the new general manager with the Philadelphia 76ers, came over. He was an assistant GM with the Cleveland Cavaliers and helping build that squad over the last few years. So I know there's a lot of folks in Cleveland that I've talked to that hated to see him get away, but one of the bright young executives in the National Basketball Association, and he was able to get now Caleb Love into Philadelphia on a 2-way deal after he averaged 10 points last year for the Portland Trailblazers. So it'll be interesting to see how that situation works out for him there. Now, in terms of the Suns, they arrived yesterday in Las Vegas. They'll open play tomorrow in the Las Vegas Summer League. So Koa Pete will get our first chance to see him. But the big news this week in terms of the Suns was the fact that they officially announced the signing or retention signings of 3 of their free agents, guys that we weren't sure whether we're going to be back this year with the club. Colin Gillespie, Jordan Goodwin, free agents. Mark Williams, I believe, was a restricted free agent, so they were able to retain him. That, guys, was the big move, was to keep Mark Williams in the fold.
Yeah, I mean, Dragon Ball, you're the Suns fan among us. Yes. The biggest thing they've been lacking, and Ayton had a little bit of a good run there to the finals, but they really just haven't had that role man. They've had so much perimeter, guys who can facilitate, guys who can get their own. But in today's NBA, if you don't have a role man who can catch those lobs when the backside gets lazy and can attack drivers as they try to score at the rim, that's what the Suns really need. So Mark Williams re-signing was paramount.
This is the age-old story of the Phoenix Suns, the franchise, seemingly whenever they have a chance to be competitive in the West. In the 1990s, you had Charles Barkley as the 4, but you didn't really have a true dominant center in the 90s. You had Mark West, but you didn't have somebody that he could really pair off with. In the 2000s, during the 7 seconds or less era, Amari Stoudemire, Shawn Marion, but you didn't have a true center to kind of be the anchor down there for rebounds and defense.
What about Oliver Miller?
Oliver Miller was pretty good for a time. I was also very reminiscent of the days with Tim Thomas serving as the center.
Yeah, they had a series of undersized centers for sure.
Tim Thomas and Kurt Thomas for the undersized starting centers during those D'Antoni era Suns in the playoffs.
Got to be able to move in 8 seconds or less, right? You got to be able to get up and down the court.
So them not having a center seemingly for a while there, when you had Booker, you had Paul, you went and got Kevin Durant, and you tried to make it work with DeAndre Ayton. It didn't end up panning out. If you can find some stability at center for a good portion of the season, you're going to have a good chance to at least have a couple of strong winning streaks. And that's what really you need to do in the West if you want to get in the playoffs. You need to stack wins if you want to get in playoff positioning. That didn't happen that much for the Suns. You maybe had 2-3 wins in a row, but nothing that was really extensive. So if they want to be competitive here, they need to have something that can slow the game down, bring the ball to them, let the ball handlers work it, and getting guys like Goodwin and Gillespie, the other two big free agent re-signs that they had, is going to pay dividends for them. Now, everything else related to the roster that they've been building up in regards to the Miles Bridges trade, which we haven't really talked about with the moving on from Grayson Allen.
I know DK wants to talk about Mark Williams, Jordan Goodwin, and Colin Gillespie being re-signed.
Yeah.
And, you're the Suns fan. Is this the least rootable and likable roster that you've seen as a Suns fan?
It's getting there.
I mean, I don't know.
Least rootable?
I don't know Miles
like
Bridges, but do you not know his background?
Miles Bridges,
Yeah, I mean, there's some real sketchy stuff there in his back. I'm not trying to disparage the young man. He's a very good basketball player. It's just Dylan Brooks wants to be the villain.
Dylan Brooks is a bit of a villain character.
Right.
Miles Bridges has a lot of the off-court
He
issues.
embraces that role as well.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting about how the roster's being built.
Is Patrick Beverly coming over? Or?
Oh, man, I hope not. Patrick Beverly, he was supposed to get the next 7 years after Steph, but he's going to be lucky to get at least 1 or 2 more, I think, in the NBA at this rate. But in the end, again, Mark Williams being re-signed, get Gillespie, you get Goodwin. The re-signing and the culture signs are a good thing to see.
Gillespie had to come back.
Yes, that was an absolute necessity.
All right, Mark Williams is coming back, and he is coming back on a 3-year deal worth $38 million. Let's hear from Brian Gregory on what he saw from Mark Williams in his first season with the club.
All three lead in their own separate way, and all three, I believe, have their best basketball in front of them. All three coming off very successful years individually where they set some new standards for not only how much they play, but how they play and where their impact is. So obviously start off with Mark Williams. He's been in our organization a year. When we brought him in right around this time last year, we challenged him in terms of really diving into the physical aspects of what he needed to do to be able to show his talents on the court. And from day one, he's done a great job of that. And that's only continued. And that's why I see great progress ahead for him.
Mark Williams last year, 60 games. That was a career high. He started 55 for the Suns, averaged 12 points and 8 rebounds. Jordan Goodwin, obviously, also back. His deal, 3 years, $19 million. He averaged 9 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists last year. Gregory on the hustle that was Jordan Goodwin.
Jordan Goodwin, maybe more importantly than anything, wins the Marley Hustle Award, and it was won every single day. When we talk about the blueprint for what we wanted to start building last spring, he fits it perfectly, and he plays that way every single day. Unbelievable effort, unbelievable competitiveness. You know, when you think about it, he went into camp last year as a non-guaranteed player, fighting for that 14th spot. Number one, there's not a lot of guys that would put themselves in that position and would accept that challenge. Number two, he not only accepted that challenge, but within a month, 5 weeks of the season, all of a sudden is in the playing group and making a huge impact for us. And that just continued throughout the year. And so the ability to get him back into the organization and re-sign him with all the qualities that he brings. And then you also saw a basketball piece improve in him as well. He's not just a hustle guy, the extra possession guy. Even though that's his calling card, you saw other pieces of his game dramatically improve. And again, having him around for the first time in his career, he's got a home. You know, he's got a home. And when we put together a little video footage of his career and going from St. Louis to the G League and back and forth and then finally finding a home, it was neat to see because he knew how important that was.
And Colin Gillespie's deal, 4 years, $48 million. He set a franchise record last year for three-pointers in a single season with 232, and he did so shooting 40% from the field.
Colin Gillespie, I felt should have been higher up in the Most Improved Player Award. Understand, who won it and all that stuff, but he had his best season of his career. Saved us many times, when we were banged up early and then throughout the year, because he played banged up. He fought through a lot of stuff and just kept going. His toughness, his grit, everything that we're all about. But it's amazing when you put in the work and you grind and you do the stuff that he does. When you get the opportunity, you got to be ready for it too, and he was ready for it. Just so good to have those 3 guys signed, important pieces of what we did last year, and now moving forward, I think we're in a very, very good spot. So excited for them as individuals, excited for them as team members, excited for their families. You know, this is a life-changing day for all 3 of those guys, and I think it's a great day for our franchise as well.
All right, there you go. 3 guys back in the fold for your Suns moving forward. Mark Williams, the big man, guards Jordan Goodwin, Connor Gillespie. Gillespie, again, last year averaged 13 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, and a steal.
He really stepped up huge when there were some injuries as well. Like Book was out for a minute, and I know Colin Gillespie put up some big numbers in an increased role. When he was asked to score, he had some big games.
All right, we are joined by the 4th member of our team. Cricket is here. Crickets.
Hi.
Got quotes. Breathe deeply.
In, out. This one today is goofy.
Goofy.
It's
Oh,
funny.
Goofy quotes.
My mother always used to say, the older you get, the better you get. Unless you're a banana. It makes it even funnier when you find out who said it. My mother always used to say, the older you get, the better you get, unless you're a banana.
Oh.
Because those are no good when they're
The
old.
older you get, the better you get, unless you're a banana. J-Dub, you want to gander a guess at that one?
Robin Williams.
Robin.
Kind of close. This is a funny character.
Robin Williams.
A funny personal or public figure.
So this is a comedian.
I'll guess Will Ferrell.
Is this Betty White?
This is Betty White.
Betty
It's
White.
always age jokes. It's always age jokes with Betty.
Yeah, the last 20 years, certainly a lot of age jokes. Yeah,
She
for
was
sure.
great on, what was the show?
Golden Girls?
No, the one about...
She was great on everything.
She was great on everything, but the Cleveland show, that was the one we loved.
Yes, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, I forget what the name of the show was. But yeah, with her and Valerie Bertinelli, and yeah, that was great television. Rest in peace, Betty White.
She was a gem.
She was a gem, for sure. We got to get back to what was our other segment for you? Cricket with cricket. Picket with cricket.
Yes.
Yeah, I got to come up with something. Let's see. Okay, tonight. Tonight, Caitlin Clark is not going to play for the Indiana Fever in their game against the Phoenix Mercury.
Caitlin Clark.
So pick it with cricket. Who wins tonight, Indiana or Phoenix?
Indiana.
Oh, even without Caitlin Clark.
I didn't even think about it. I don't know why.
Even without Caitlin
I don't know
Clark.
why.
She's got Indiana tonight over Phoenix. All right, we'll come
Was
back
that a
tomorrow.
mistake? What do you guys say? Phoenix?
I don't know. The
Mercury-
Mercury don't play well at home this year.
Yeah.
They seem to not be a good home team at all.
Oh, ouch.
Best fans still, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Good fans up there. Good fans. All right, we'll come back tomorrow and find out if you were right.
Okay.
All right, pick it with cricket.
All
Make
right.
sure we get that sounder going on that one, J-Dub. All right, we're going to talk some more soccer coming up. Ted Przylski.
I mean, we're
will
going to
join
run
us.
out of time in our segments the more we pile on for cricket for her 2 minutes that she's in studio with us.
There you go.
It's okay. I don't have anything else to do.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Except for hang out with us.
Nothing important anyway. This
Yeah.
is more important.
Hanging out with us is the best part of your day.
It is.
It is. Absolutely.
Afternoons fly.
How hot is it right now?
It's hot. It's awful.
Awful?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Let's get some rain. When's the rain coming?
Never.
Tomorrow?
It feels like never.
Never. I remember I'm getting close to 18 years here now. My anniversary is coming up in 8 days here when I moved here, July 17th, 2008. And I remember the first week I was here, it rained every single day. And I was like, is this really what happens? Is this really what monsoon is? It was like the streets were flooded.
Well, as a
The
kid, it's the
entire
afternoons. Like cricket can attest as myself. 80s and 90s was much more clockwork, where in the afternoons, every afternoon. I do have good news, though, is that more recently in the last few days, They're talking about how the El Nino will be bigger than they anticipated, which will push the monsoons back and not be as soon. However, they will be much more intense. So there should be quite a bit of rain. I'm not saying that is a bad thing, as in you're going to get tons of wind damage, all that stuff. I just mean they say that the amount of rainfall that is going to come this monsoon season should be above average.
All right.
Okay. Less broken power poles, though, and people losing roofs.
The wind is the issue. Yeah, the wind is the issue.
All right, Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
And from the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. I-10 near Colossal Cave Road, a brush fire. Fire crews responding and slowing. Westbound side of I-10 near Colossal Cave Road. Slowdowns at Ajo and Keno. Keno and Ajo for slowing. Roadwork at the intersection. An extreme heat warning until 8 tonight. A slight chance of showers this afternoon into this evening. Our best chance of rain, I believe it's a 60% chance of rain on Sunday. 105 our high tomorrow, and it is 108 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Every now and then, you find a deal that actually feels like a win. With Straight Talk Wireless, you get more and pay less. Now that's a good deal. No contracts, no credit checks, no surprises. All on Verizon's 5G network. Find it in the same place you've always found straightforward prices. Exclusively at Walmart and StraightTalk.com.
In Tucson, a lot of people make their living on construction sites, on the road, or working in warehouses across town. If you're injured at work, you have rights. Call 520-567-8000. Cruz & Associates, a firm you know, help you can trust.
He's kind and he's funny and he's also mustachioed. He solves all your problems by the end of every episode. TV Dad. Everyone loves TV Dad. TV Dad. Unlike a real dad, he never hollers. And he tells you how Progressive can save you lots of dollars.
Listen to your TV Dad. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary.
We all know just because gifts for loved ones can look like flowers, a spa day, or maybe even planning date night. But what about something that will truly last and protect your loved ones along the way? I'm talking about life insurance. I called SelectQuote to secure our coverage and couldn't believe how easy and affordable it was. I'm 40, and my $500,000 policy was only $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. And with their same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. With monthly payments less than the cost of a bouquet of flowers, this is the perfect time to make sure your family is protected.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-596-2626 or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-596-2626. 1-800-596-2626. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. America's Big 250 starts this month. Did you know Tucson's first Presidio is 250 plus? If you're not careful, you can still experience those original dirt roads crossing town in the bottom of wagon wheel busts and suspension slaying potholes. It's why Arizona drivers count on Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care to protect their tires and suspension for life with Jack's Plus Pack. Every passenger and light truck tire we install comes with a free alignment check and 12 additional services, including professional installation and lifetime tire maintenance. If you're shopping around, Jack's got you covered with major brands and budget-friendly tire options. Compare Jack's total installed price. Backed by our low price promise, we've got you covered completely through both our seasons, monsoon and road construction. Check out Jack's Plus Pack, a $249 value at jackfurriers.com. So make an appointment online, call ahead, or just stop by any of our 14 award-winning locations. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code GROW to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code GROW to borrow up to $10,000. Use code GROW to borrow up to $10,000.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215215. That's HIM to 215215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Adaptive Health.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, let's talk some more football with a guy that knows a lot about football here in Southern Arizona. His name is Ted Przelski. He's with the Tucson Sentinel. That's his side job. His real job is he's communications director for Ward 2 Councilman Paul Cunningham. Joins us on the show right now. Ted, how are you?
I am doing all right. What's going on with you? Did you see the France-Morocco game?
Yes, we watched a little bit of that towards the end. What were your thoughts on what you saw today? I'm disappointed Morocco did not score any goals.
Yeah, I was disappointed with that too. But it's if they have to fall to someone, I mean, France is a good team to fall to. They're likable, and I think we can think of a few other examples that are not. But and the two guys that scored are exactly who you thought it would be, is Mbappe and Dembele, and no, it was a good game. The ones in this round have been pretty nice, even if I don't agree with all the results. So
now, if I'm not mistaken, Ted, you've been kind of hitting a bunch of different watch parties with different fan groups through this tournament. Who have you watched games with so far during this tournament?
Well, mostly I've been at Zerais, but also over at a bar downtown called Stage Left, and it's different kinds of crowds. I tend to like to go to where I already have friends, even if they're just soccer watching friends. And I know that there's places that are, this is the bar where the England fans hang out, and this is the bar where the U.S. fans hang out. I tend not to do that. I like to get a variety of folks. And for the most part, people have been really respectful of people for being other fans. I think when I was at one of the first matches when it was Brazil and Morocco, I showed up wearing a Morocco scarf, and the place was full of Brazil fans. And a guy comes up to me and he says, "Hey, it's good that you're wearing that."
And you watched the game with some Iran fans as well early in the tournament. Was that correct?
Yeah, yes, I did. I have a friend whose family immigrated after the '79 revolution. So she's not exactly a friend of the current regime, but she wanted to root for her country that she was born in, and she was she brought with her a pre-revolution flag though, so that's something. But then again, I have another friend who is in a similar family situation to she is, who will not support the Iranian team because of their ties to the regime, and it's so it's a lot of feelings going both ways on that.
Ted Przelski joins us, Tucson Sentinel. Ted, what did drawing the unfortunate straw of Iran, what did that cost Tucson?
Well, unfortunately, I don't know. When I was trying to write about it, and I'm sure, and I know that you had a similar experience, it was really hard to get hard information about what was going on. And so, I don't want to say we drew the short straw because, frankly, it would have been nice to have, a national team come here and be resident here. Turkey was up in Mesa, and that was great. But there were some, even if they had been here, there were going to be a lot of restrictions on their time here. They were already putting up barriers at FC Tucson's stadium. In fact, I think some of them are still up so that, things couldn't be seen. And I don't know how much of that was by request of the Iranian Federation or how much of it was, the stadium management, how much of it was the U.S. government, but it wouldn't have been one of those things where, a national team comes out here, people get to go and watch their practices, they scrimmage against a couple of local teams. We weren't going to, it wasn't going to be that. But they still would have been staying in our hotels. That would have been nice. Tax revenue is always good. So.
Ted Przelski is our guest. He covers soccer here in southern Arizona. Ted, Christian Pulisic has been taking a lot of shots this week. Obviously, a tremendous disappointment the way they lost that game the other night, and the fact that what I said was I don't know how good that team was because he was not healthy for this tournament, and it's unfortunate that was the case because we only get this tournament every 4 years, and I think an injury like that is maybe magnified. I mean, if in any other sport a guy gets hurt in a season, there's another season next year. But we don't get this opportunity for another 4 years, and so I think the fact that he wasn't completely healthy is unfortunate for him because there's a lot of people taking shots that our best player was not our best player in this tournament. Where do you come out on the whole Christian Pulisic thing? And there's a lot of people that just don't like him.
Well, yeah, that's always going to happen. But, yeah, I was disappointed with, his performance in general. And I think the team, what you were talking about, next season, and there really isn't that for something like this. But, they could have, we could have leaned on other people. I mean, even, there's other, I think there wasn't a lot of trust in who that next layer of players was, which, there was a little bit of confirmation of that with what you had with the Turkey game, because a lot of those people played in that game, and that didn't come out fantastic for us. But frankly, you still had a lot of fight in that team. And I think for me, my problem, this gets complicated. So hold on a minute. During all that run up to the World Cup, they were rolling out for these preliminary games and even some of the qualifiers. And I looked at this team and my thought was, man for man, this is a much better team than who we fielded in 2002. And that team did remarkably well, so why is it I'm not getting that feeling about these guys? And it was this lack of esprit de corps. It was, just sort of a lack of, kind of seeing that people were fighting for the badge. They always say that in soccer, right? But once this tournament started, I started seeing that. And then in the Belgium match, I didn't see that. And I don't know if it was all of the storm that was going on around the team. If in those 36 hours before the game, if that got to their heads. but that wasn't the team that I saw in the previous 4 games.
Right.
And so, Pulisic, it's kind of, I would have liked to have seen a better performance from him in all 5 matches, but I think there was something going on around the team. I don't know if something went on in the locker room or, whatever. We'll find out over the next few months as soon as people start doing interviews and things, after the World Cup's over. But that's what, so I don't lay it all on him, but I definitely don't think he lived up to the advanced billing.
Ted Przelski joining us, Tucson Sentinel. Ted, you follow the sport more than the average person. In terms of the Balogun suspension, the red card suspension, and obviously that's something that happens at the top levels of the game, where you get a red card, you have to sit out. But what I said was, this whole independent body thing that apparently reviewed this. Did you even know that existed? Because I was like, well, why, and maybe I missed it, but why was nobody talking about that after the game was over? Like, oh, yeah, he got a red card and he has to sit out, but there's a possibility he could play because we have this independent body that reviews such things. I didn't hear any of that kind of talk, which is why I think a lot of people thought, whoa, on Sunday, this all came out of left field. Did you know that this body even existed that could potentially overturn that?
I think I'd heard of it, but I don't know how often it's been used. It is a little weird. I don't think, I'd have to go back in my own head. I think it was 62 was the last time that something like this occurred. And I don't know if this body existed or any kind of what the procedure was like in 62, but Garrincha, the great Brazilian player, had gotten a suspension that got overturned in that match. In that tournament. And there was controversy around that. And I think Brazil went on to win that one. There's that. But I think it's also just with everything else around FIFA the last few years, I think those of us that follow the sport, there were some really hinky stuff that went on with Sepp Blatter, who was the last head of FIFA. The guys that ran CONCACAF for years were horribly. CONCACAF is the North American Federation or Confederation. Those guys were horribly corrupt, and there were all kinds of crazy decisions that were made by them. But there's something different about the level of corruption and the deals that are being made and stuff that's going on now, that I think, make, and stuff like this, doesn't make people trust the game. But, I don't want to say all sports because, there's different levels of hinkiness with other leagues and stuff. But, but in a lot of sports, the sport itself is better than the jerks that are running it. I think, we could say that about the NCAA. We can say that about the NFL, and I was antsy about this World Cup, and then the games started and there was great stories, and, and you get sucked in, and maybe that's what allows the corruption to continue. But it also, but a lot of it I can think about that and not think about, whatever car Johnny Infantino can afford to buy this month,
Who wins this tournament?
Oh, well, I would have said Spain like 3 or 4 weeks ago, but Norway's looking good, and they're great to watch, and the other thing is with Norway too, I actually read an article to this effect last day or so, where they just look like they're having fun, and maybe there's something that we can learn in American sports about that, where we want everyone to be grim, you know. But you watch Erling Haaland, and maybe it's just the way his face is put together, but he's always smiling.
Yeah.
You know? And so, I mean, I'm kind of rooting for them right now, too. They got a great story, you know. So.
Speaking of corruption, Ted, are the VC Fusion going to throw their last game to keep FC Tucson out of the postseason?
You know, we had an issue like that a few years ago, if you remember.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So there's this additional problem with the way I think they're so far ahead it doesn't matter. Well, actually, yeah, that would be it. Because so there's this weird thing in most leagues. It's you played, 15 games. There's 3 points for a win and whatever, and so you've got your however many points, and you're going to be higher in the table than the next guy, so you're now in first place. In USL League 2, because the way the budgets for these teams work, because some of the divisions, even though they try to draw them geographically, sometimes you have divisions that are very geographically huge, that you don't have a balanced schedule. So you might have one team that plays 12 games and another that only plays 11. So what they do is they actually rank you by the points you got per match. Okay, so FC Tucson is at 1.73 right now. So they would need to get up ahead of Redlands, which is at 1.91, and they can beat Capo. Capo's got kind of a middling record. If they beat Capo tomorrow, that would put them, oh God, I don't even want to calculate that, but that would put them ahead of Redlands. But you're thinking that Fusion might pull some shenanigans? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. So I think it was about 2 years ago. There was a similar situation with Fusion, and they played a bunch of academy players for their last game. And so then the other team won, and that pulled them up ahead of FC Tucson. I don't know if they necessarily would want to do that just to be ahead of FC Tucson. But who knows? It's a crazy league. And the Fusion has a coach that is very fiery. I got into the middle of a fight involving him a few years ago. Yeah. His name's Keith Costigan. He's this Irish guy, and he actually also does some commentary on Fox Sports as well. So some people may be familiar with him through there. But does he have I don't know if he's got enough emotional investment though in this unless he just wants to rest people. The other thing that happens in this league too is because the players are also have college obligations.
Right. They have to go back.
Some of them, sometimes you just have a depleted squad through no fault of your own and no shenanigans at all, which may have been more about what the Fusion was doing a couple of years ago. FC Tucson, seems to be able to keep their players. In fact, I think that's one of the criteria they use. Can you play through July? And then they'll take you. So.
Ted, before we let you go, is there any political news you want to break on our show? Like maybe if your boss is going to run for mayor?
Oh, God, I would get into so much trouble. Do you want me to keep my job? Is that your deal?
Of course we do.
Yeah.
It's just a rumor I've been hearing, so I.
Yeah, hey, stick to sports.
Ted, we'll see you out at the stadium tomorrow.
All right. I will talk to you later.
All right. Ted Brzelski, he is with the Tucson Sentinel. He writes soccer. He is also the communications director for Ward 2 Councilman Paul Cunningham. Paul's a good guy. If Paul ran for mayor, I think that I would not say that that's a bad thing for Tucson whatsoever. Paul is very involved in a lot of different things around this town. All right, 520-848-1290 is the number. We are way past our break. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. I-10 Colossal Cave Road with the brush fire being worked, and slowdowns from the westbound side of I-10 at Colossal Cave Wentworth Road. Brush fire, a lot of fire crews on scene, and backups. An extreme heat warning until 8 tonight. Slight chance of showers today. 81 the overnight low, 105 tomorrow, 108 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Staples. All right, it's officially the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, 20% off for teachers, and more. Check out all the deals at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
Hey, it's DK on the Sports Tip. Don't miss a minute of the best Arizona Wildcats coverage in town. Tell your Alexa device to play Wildcats Radio 1290. This is your home of Arizona football, men's basketball, and baseball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Speeding catches up with you, paid for by NHTSA. The quarterfinals of the World Cup begin today as Morocco look to take down tournament favorites France. French star Kylian Mbappe is in the hunt for the tournament's Golden Boot Award, the prize for the most goals scored, as he's tied for second place with 7 goals with Norway's Erling Haaland. England's Harry Kane is in third place with 6 goals, and Argentina's Lionel Messi leads the race with 8 goals. I'm Adam Abdallah.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And all it takes is a few clicks. We make buying metal online easy so you can spend less time shopping and more time getting things done. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Place an order online today at metalsupermarkets.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. Get a free oil filter and more during the Celebrate Free event at AutoZone, now through July 27th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Progressive knows that boat days can come with unexpected problems.
It's been a tough Saturday on the lake. I ordered swim trunks in this orange cream color, but it's actually more orange auburn. Oh, and it's swimwear. I probably can't even return these.
If a real problem comes along, your boat's protected 24/7 with Progressive, so you can keep worrying about boater problems. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in D.C.
There he is, Mr. Big-Time Capital One Bank guy.
Mom, please.
Well, look at this Capital One Cafe. I just might move in.
Or just drop by. Capital One cafes are open 7 days a week.
I could put my spoon collection right here by the ATM, yes.
Wow, you weren't kidding, Mom.
I never kid about the spoon collection, son. Oh, hey, what's that thing you always say?
There's no fees or minimums on Capital One checking accounts.
No, the other one.
What's in your wallet?
Oh, that's my boy.
Terms apply. Visit CapitalOne.com/bank guide for details. Capital One and member FDIC.
Right now, somewhere in America, a student is training, a student is studying, a student is working when nobody is watching. Not for recognition, not for attention, but because excellence is a habit. The 2026 Patriot Games are searching for exceptional students ages 14 to 17. Students ready to compete, ready to lead, ready to show America what they're capable of. $250,000 scholarship prize pool. Applications are open now. Your story, your opportunity, your moment. Applications now open. Freedom250.org. America's next champion could be you.
My heat and air work in a state of disrepair.
It's July in Tucson. No time to gamble on a cheap AC install. Some of the other AC names got bought out by investment companies and won't stand behind their installs. We stand behind our installs with a 1-year money-back guarantee. Family owned since 2001, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. Call 520-492-0748 or online at picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code GROW to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code GROW to borrow up to $10,000. Use code GROW to borrow up to $10,000.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Adaptive Health.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, we'll let you hear what Sophie Cunningham had to say about DeWanna Bonner. Mercury and Fever tonight up in Phoenix. Caitlin Clark will not play in that game, resting her due to her back situation. Our guy Danny checks in. He checked in, actually, this is when we were gone, on the text group. And he says, just your average 5 a.m. thought giving. Everything revolves around our Cats basketball program. He says, I've noticed that after an NBA draft, our town doesn't really make a huge deal of the guys from our squad that just got drafted. And I think we should. Tucson is Arizona basketball. We're all rightfully deeply proud and appreciative for what we've got. Couldn't the Tucson Star or the Citizen, well, the Citizen doesn't exist anymore, but couldn't the Tucson Star do something extra to show out one more time how honored we are? I mean, you guys filled that hat with all the pertinent info and even had the draft on your air. Probably not a huge deal, which is exactly why I think it should be a practice here in Southern Arizona. I appreciate you guys. That comes from our guy, Danny.
Yeah, Danny and I are about the same age, and we go, back to the 80s as our fandom for basketball. And I remember when Sean Elliott, I remember when Steve Kerr got drafted the year prior, right? Tom Tolbert, Steve Kerr. And then obviously the Kenny Lofton year was, Sean Elliott, and just everything since then. And they always made a big deal. I think what you just said about the Citizens not existing anymore, DK, has something to do with it. The brick and mortar, which you could probably speak to better than Dragon Ball and I, but the brick and mortar, the lack of brick and mortar news services throughout most communities, I think is probably why you don't see that. And, thank you for noticing, Danny, but we did do our best, and we try to always do our best to celebrate Wildcats as they're going on to their professional careers. Come on. You celebrate them when they're on campus, And on that big day, Dragon Ball, where they hear their name called or don't, and then find their way into a Summer League team, that's when you give them the biggest applause and, pat them on the back and say, best of luck to you, go forth and do great things.
And I think that's the other part of it that makes it a little difficult, because most of the time when these kids get drafted, they're usually out in their own space. They're usually back home. Again, Koa is a rare example where he wasn't that far away for his draft party, but that's because he lived in Phoenix for the entirety of his life.
And none of us got invited to the Pete draft party, did we?
No, none of us got invited. None of us got invited over to the Del Orso household, which I don't know if he was back in Australia for that or if he was here still in the States or what the case was. Jaden Bradley, as far as we know, was still in the States at the time before he got moved up to Canada, but that was seemingly within the first 2 hours of his name being announced. He seemingly got the plane right up to Toronto. But you don't really have a lot of time to go and celebrate it with them because they're out enjoying their life. They're not here in Tucson for the event. And by the time they get drafted, they don't have time to come back to Tucson.
And just to rehash my personal take on this, I do not have a professional basketball team that I follow and root for, that I am a diehard, and if you beat my team, I hate you. I don't have that in me. What I have is following the careers of every former Arizona Wildcat since the 70s go forth into the NBA, into Major League Baseball, and in the NBA in particular, because the growth after college, right? 22, 23, 24, 25, that's when you start getting into your athletic prime. And to me, that's been one of my greatest joys in life is I watched Sean Elliott play in the NBA when he was 23, right? Like I watched it actively. I watched Carter Bryant last year, watched a ton of Ben Mathurin for the Indiana Pacers the last 3 years before he was traded. So I think the idea of celebrating all former Wildcats as they're doing great things, as they're in the middle of their runs, and then obviously recognizing the greats that have made such a huge name for themselves like Coach Kerr, I think it's tough because it's a bit of a like goodbye in a way for most people, but not for me. I'm always following all Arizona Wildcats in their professional careers, and it's such a great thing to watch that growth and not have to worry about, breaking my TV when the Spurs don't win.
And it's cool, just like you mentioned, following it. We're going to talk to Gabe York next week. He played on one of the United States teams this summer.
FIBA qualifiers.
The FIBA qualifier, the World Cup there. And just to kind of see some of these guys on their Instagram, like Nick Johnson and his wife. They've got 3 kids. They're expecting their first boy after 3 girls. So congratulations to the Johnson family. I came across some stuff from Kyle Fogg. He's got 2 kids now, so it's kind of really just cool to see these young men that we followed on the court here at the University of Arizona now living their lives as young parents here and across the world.
When's our legacy groups coming?
Oof. Our legacy groups.
Yeah, I mean, there was an outside shot that potentially Coach Kerr's children might be actual basketball players, and maybe they'll come around. But those days, I mean, to see the same last name of a jersey of a guy that you were really diehard for during your early days of following it, that's nothing better than that. And we're getting to the point where a lot of those guys who played in the 80s and 90s are almost having grandkids at this point.
Yeah. Because there really hasn't been. I mean, has there been a, quote, legacy, a second-generation player at the University of Arizona? I don't think there really
comes to mind yet. No. But, again, there was the chance for Gilbert Arenas.
Elijah, right?
Yeah, but that's probably the only one that of recent memory that I can think of.
All right, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We'll also talk some Arizona football. What did Trey Spivey say about what he wants to do for Noah Fifita this season? We'll let you hear that coming up as well in the 5 o'clock hour. Dragon Ball's here. He's got everything happening in Southern Arizona sports as well as sports around the world.
Well, we got another edition of a new coach of the Arizona Wildcats, this time for the track and field program. Andrew Dubs has announced that they will add Brian Allen as the program's assistant coach for throws this upcoming season. Now, Allen, he has coached 12 NCAA national champions, 104 NCAA All-Americans, and 51 conference champions after spending 12 years over at Missouri Southern State University as their associate head coach and recruiting coordinator for the track and field program there. So welcome on board there, Brian Allen. Meanwhile, another loss for the Diamondbacks out in San Diego as they ended up surrendering 10 runs on the night. But the game didn't get out of hand for Arizona until a particular moment at the bottom of the 5th.
Merrill at first, way off the bag at second, drawing the attention of Cabrera, and a balk has been called. Jose Cabrera balking according to plate umpire Willie Traynor. And the plate umpire, Willie Traynor, was pointing toward the leg. And that's what he saw from the rookie righty. He may have made a move toward the plate. And now Torey Lovullo's been thrown out.
Oh, that was a quick toss, too.
And again, that quick
That
toss.
DK special last night.
Yep.
What did I say? Padres minus 1.5 on the run line at plus 140. We cashed in on that one, baby.
Yep, and Lovullo did suffer his 24th career ejection in that game. The Padres then went on to score 2 runs in the 5th, 4 in the 6th, and another 2 in the 7th. And the Diamondbacks, their second straight loss out in San Diego. They'll now try to go ahead and split the 4-game series tonight with Merrill Kelly on the dish. And the trade that was meant to send Kawhi Leonard back to the Raptors from the Clippers is now apparently on hold as the NBA continues their probe into the situation involving Kawhi Leonard and the now bankrupt California-based digital bank that touted itself as environmentally friendly. We all know about this story, but the Raptors said that they will wait until the league's investigation is done, but there's currently no timetable as to when that may be, as it's being handled by an outside counsel. I'm Dragon Ball 2020 Sports Update on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Download our app. It slaps. Nobody covers Southern Arizona sports like we do. Don't miss out on any of the highlights, stories, and analysis. The flagship home for Arizona Wildcats athletics, Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. I-10 and Colossal Cave Road, big brush fire. Westbound I-10 at Colossal Cave Road. Freeway now closed. Westbound side of I-10 closed at Colossal Cave, Wentworth Road. Bail off of westbound I-10 using State Route 83. Also a lot of backups on Colossal Cave Road near I-10. And there might be a smoke hazard as well for eastbound travel on I-10 near Colossal Cave, Wentworth Road. Reportedly, that area eastbound 10 not closed. And I'm Cricket, and your weather, an extreme heat warning until 8 tonight. Small chance of showers this evening. 81 the low, 105 tomorrow, 108 now. That's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic.
This report is sponsored by Aleve. At some point, body pain may creep in and become your reality that day. But Aleve is here to keep you moving. One pill gives you up to 12 hours of body pain relief. So don't let pain hold you back. Try Aleve today. Use as directed.
Nobody covers your Cats like we do.
Headed for the corner, he's in. Touchdown, Arizona. On the break, slide it home. Here comes the throw home. He slides, he's safe. The Cats are champions.
We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215215. That's HIM to 215215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. America's Big 250 starts this month. Did you know Tucson's first Presidio is 250 plus? If you're not careful, you can still experience those original dirt roads crossing town in the bottom of wagon wheel busts and suspension slaying potholes. It's why Arizona drivers count on Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care to protect their tires and suspension for life with Jack's Plus Pack. Every passenger and light truck tire we install comes with a free alignment check and 12 additional services, including professional installation and lifetime tire maintenance. If you're shopping around, Jack's got you covered with major brands and budget-friendly tire options. Compare Jack's total installed price. Backed by our low price promise, we've got you covered completely through both our seasons, monsoon and road construction. Check out Jack's Plus Pack, a $249 value at jackfurriers.com. So make an appointment online, call ahead, or just stop by any of our 14 award-winning locations. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong?
I just got hit with a car repair bill, I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code GROW to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code GROW to borrow up to $10,000. Use code GROW to borrow up to $10,000.
Your business isn't a science experiment. And at Cumulus Digital, we never treat it like one. You shouldn't have to pay an agency to test theories on your dime. At Cumulus Digital, we don't speculate, we execute. Our proven framework delivers results 25% better than industry standards. Visit cumulusdigital.com, fill out our form, and move from guessing to knowing.
And now, a no-frills ad sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Here it is. You can save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's it. See? Just a good old-fashioned straightforward ad. See if you can save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE or Progressive.com.
Nobody covers your Cats like we do. We are the home of your Arizona Wildcats. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Yeah, I had a bad feeling when I saw Jose Cabrera starting for the Diamondbacks last night. In fact, I think he's already been dispatched back to the minor leagues after last night's game. That's why I said I gave you a DK top play yesterday and told you to take the Padres minus the 1.5 runs against the Diamondbacks. It was a 2-1 game in the midsection of the contest when Jose Cabrera made a bit of a mistake.
2 on, 1 away. Here's the pitch. No, a step and a check, and Tatis has got to scramble. They pulled off the double steal earlier, and now they've charged Cabrera with a balk. Home plate umpire Willie Traynor emphatically saying that front leg basically started to come home. I don't know about this call. You can just read Torrey's lips saying, I don't know what you're talking about right now. And now he's gone. Now he's been ejected.
Clearly, if you go back and look at the video, it was indeed a kind of a stutter move there by Jose Rodriguez there. And, so I'm sorry, Jose Cabrera. So, indeed, the correct call. And that put the runners at second and third, where Xander Bogaerts would finish the job there.
2-1 on the ground, off the glove of Vargas into left field. 1-run scores. They're going to wave around Merrill. He'll score as well. It's a 2-run single, and it's 4-1 Padres.
Padres would go on to win by a score of 10-4, so that's 6 runs in a minus 1.5 situation. So if you took our advice, see, we give you the winning picks. I give you the winning picks. Westwood One gives us a lot of losing picks because they told us, first of all, they told us to take Chase Burns yesterday for the Reds. And over 7.5 strikeouts, he only had 2. He did win his 11th game because the Reds blew out the Phillies yesterday. So Chase Burns is now 11-1. I would imagine he's an all-star. I don't know for sure, but I would imagine if you're 11-1 with an ERA under 3, you're probably going to the all-star game. But we needed him to strike out a bunch of guys yesterday, and he didn't do that. So, and also they told us to take Morocco to score in regular time today. And if you've been listening to the show, you know that did not happen as Morocco was shut out by France 2-0. So that's 2 losing bets from yesterday. Then today, early, because there's a lot of day baseball. It is Thursday in the major leagues. There's always day games. We had former Diamondback Blaze Alexander, who now plays for the Orioles. We had Blaze Alexander over 1.5 runs, hits, and RBIs. And, of course, Blaze Alexander took the collar and went 0 for 4 in that game. So that's another loser that they gave us.
There is good news, though.
What's the good?
Chase
Tell me
Burns-
what the good news
Chase
is.
Burns is going to the All-Star game.
I will say he better be at 11-1. I mean, I don't know anybody else that's won 11 games this year so far. That got to be the most wins in all of baseball in terms of a starter. He didn't pitch well. He only went 5 innings, gave up 3 runs, 106 pitches in 5 innings for Chase Burns. If you're a Reds fan, 520-848-1290. 106 pitches in 5 innings.
If you're a Pittsburgh fan and you're looking at a 2.54 ERA for a guy with 11-1 record, maybe run support could be helpful to your boy.
Well, that's it. They got 11 runs for him. Well, and we said Paul got all he needed from Ryan O'Hearn the other night.
Paul 2 years ago had like a .2 ERA and was like 0-9.
Yeah, he was having a Jacob deGrom-esque season with the lack of support.
Yeah,
he pitched in one of the days we were in. We were thinking about going to the game in Philly. It was a day game, and he was pitching that day. But the Phillies beat him up that day. I think it was about a week ago today.
Yeah, well,
Thursday.
the Braves beat up on Mitch Keller today, so it seems like a Pirates pitcher is getting beat up at least once a week.
Except for yesterday.
Well, yesterday it was a 3-0 game. Then
Yesterday the pitcher was doing just fine until a point.
And then they pulled him, and then the bullpen does what the bullpen does.
That was last night was only the third time this season the Padres have scored 10 runs in a game. How about that? They just, I don't know what's going on with that team, but they apparently have gotten right the last 2 nights against the Diamondbacks. Final game of the series coming up tonight. You'd hate to lose 3 out of 4 to a Padres team that was in a free fall, but that's likely what could happen. And I don't know. At the 2 games under 500 now, 45 and 47. I don't know if maybe we need to wait till next week to talk about Torey Lovullo. But there's a lot of people who are losing patience.
Wait, you're
with
saying
the manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
So the Diamondbacks and the manager's conversation is one that we will probably have for at least once or twice more before the end of the season. But you're sitting here and telling me that the Padres with Manny Machado is starting to have a little bit of a is he actually worth it conversation? I'm sure the Orioles would have nothing to say about that. I'm just saying this is a situation where the shelf life of competitiveness.
He's apparently going to play tonight.
Well, he's played the last 2 nights. If you would think it, he only had 1 hit and 7 at bats for the Padres against the Diamondbacks up to this point. And Fernando Tatis, hey, he's doing his job as the leadoff hitter. 4 at bats with 1 hit in the first game, and then 2 hits in 4 at bats in the second. I'm just saying, Manny Machado. This is the type of situation that always happens with him. Seemingly, he gets that point in his shelf life where he's not necessarily as competitive as you would hope he would be, considering that this was a guy at one point was in the running for AL MVP.
The sad and depressing thing for Diamondbacks fans is that they had a good stretch there about a month and a half ago. But guys, I mean, this Padres team just got ahead of them in the standings for the first time in a couple months. Just got done with an 8-game losing streak last week. Last week. They are 3-7 in their last 10 games, are the Padres, and have moved a game ahead of the Diamondbacks. So again, it's just like treading water. You get a couple of games up, you're up behind the Dodgers. It's been the Padres and Dodgers these last 2-3 years. Looked like you said, DK, the Padres are having a down year. Might be a chance for the Diamondbacks to make some noise. But even though the Padres are still struggling, they found a way, obviously, in that head-to-head series. Sometimes it's all it takes is those interdivision wins against your rivals.
Diamondbacks are 14-20 in their last 34 games. They've hit just 83 home runs this year. That is 29th in Major League Baseball. Griffin Canning will get the ball tonight for the Padres, 1-6, a 671 earned run average. Merrill Kelly for your Snakes, 6-8, a 571 earned run average. Kelly will be making his 19th career start against the Padres tonight, looking to try to get a split before you head to Los Angeles for the weekend.
The Padres, as a team, through 92 games, are batting .226.
Wow.
And Manny Machado is batting 181 as the number 4 hitter.
Again, it goes back to the lack of offense that we're seeing around the league. We've talked a lot about that this season. There seems to be a downtrend in offense.
Dodgers now currently lead in team batting average, .264.
Oh, that's respectable.
Easily.
Hey, 264 for the best team in baseball.
That's like a $300 million roster, right?
520-848-1290. So let's give you your Westwood One top play for today is actually for tomorrow.
Sponsored by BetMGM. Own your moment. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Pat Boyle here to help you beat the books with Westwood One Sports. World Cup quarterfinals. I think Spain's dominance continues in another defensive game. Belgium coming off their 4-1 win over Team USA. That was way more about how sloppy USA was than anything else. Spain has yet to give up a goal this tournament. They're battle-tested, and they will wear Belgium down. How about an SGP? Spain to advance in any fashion and under 3.5 goals at regular time. At even money. I'm Pat Boyle. Bet smarter, beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today.
All right, Spain and Belgium. That's going to be a noon game on Friday. Dragon Ball. Do you know when Pat Boyle there just said an SGP? Do you know what that means?
Not a clue.
J-Dub, do you know what SGP means?
I know who SVP is.
Yes.
SGP in betting vernacular is same game parlay.
Yes.
Same game parlay.
Yep.
Okay.
Familiar.
So the parlay here is Spain to advance in any fashion. I don't know. Again, I guess that would be winning and or by penalty kicks. And then, so that's one bet. The other bet is under 3.5 goals in regular time. So that's the same game parlay. Spain to advance, under 3.5 goals in regular time, plus 135 on that for tomorrow. So if you bet $12.90 right now, head on over to BetMGM, and or if you want to do this live, go out to Casino del Sol, Sol Sports, and they'll take your money too, and you can get that bet for right around plus 135. Your $12.90 bet will get you $17.42.
I just want to see, we've been talking about so much about the superstars showing up. I just want to see Lamine Yamal do something.
Lamine Yamal.
He's the next Messi. He's a Spaniard. He's 18 years old. And if you go watch the highlights, I mean, the ball is just an extension of himself. I mean, he's just an unbelievably talented young man. But he had a hamstring injury coming into the World Cup. So he's obviously, Spain has been super deep going on 20 years now. But I would love in that Portugal-Spain game to see Lamine Yamal do something extraordinary because he's highly capable of it.
Cricket picked Indiana tonight over Phoenix. I always try to give you a DK top play when there's a local team involved. So I'm going to give you. I think the Mercury are going to win tonight at home against the Fever. They split the two games in Indiana. I think they win tonight. The Fever are favored by 1.5. I'm going to take the Mercury and the 1.5.
Let's go a little more interesting, Dragon Ball. Over under 4 technicals.
Over under 4.
I'll
probably
take
have to make
the
it
under
3.
on
It'd
that.
probably be 3.5.
Yes,
for the bet
Caitlin's
to
not
be there.
playing,
I'm gonna
so I'll
say,
take the under on that.
I'll take the 3. I'll take 3. So I'll go.
But
under.
Sophie is the self-described enforcer, so it doesn't matter if Caitlin Clark's not.
Okay, there you go.
Her teammates may try to send a message. I mean, Boston is a pretty big human being, right? There's definitely that's a very feisty roster. So, I mean, I have already said my piece. I don't think Alyssa Thomas had any intention of harming Caitlin Clark on that play. She was turning her head up the court when all that happened. She wasn't even looking at her. However, with all the stories and the social media and the nonsense and the death threats these last couple of weeks, I'm sure that there'll be a little bit of extra that the Fever bring to Phoenix tonight.
All right, when we come back, I'm going to let you hear what Trey Spivey said at Big 12 Football Media Days about where he wants to take Noah Fafita. DK on the Sports Tip, 520-848-1290 is our number. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Big news for I-10 and Colossal Cave Wentworth Road freeway closed due to a large brush fire. Again, I-10 closed at Wentworth Colossal Cave Road. Really heavy westbound backups on I-10 as you approach Colossal Cave Road. Also crashed reported in town at Broadway and Wilmot and Broadway. Extreme heat warning until 8 tonight, 81 the low, 105 tomorrow, 107 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Trouble sleeping lately? Upgrade to the great sleep you deserve at Mattress Firm's July 4th sale. Choose from a curated selection of top brands and let their sleep experts help you narrow it down. They make sleep easy.
The jungle has moved afternoon, so grab your best Tucson tuxedo and join us on the Jim Rome Show weekdays from noon till 3 p.m. right here on the flagship home of your Arizona Wildcats, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. Speeding catches up with you, paid for by NHTSA. The Dallas Wings were at the bottom of the WNBA standings the last 2 seasons, but at the midway point of the 2026 campaign, the Wings sit in 4th place with a 14-8 record. Dallas is led in scoring by reigning Rookie of the Year, Paige Beckers. She's been joined this season by fellow top overall pick Az Fudd and veteran Jessica Shepard. The 6-year forward had 22 points on Tuesday night as the Wings defeated the New York Liberty to earn their 3rd straight victory.
You know, when I came here in the offseason, talking with the players that I knew were coming back, I knew this was the vision, and I think, you know, we know that it doesn't happen overnight, and we're still working every single day just to be a better team. And the fun part about this team is, you know, when you have a mix of vets and young players, you see the growth happening in real time. So it's been a lot of fun to be a part of.
The Wings are back in action on Friday when they visit the Toronto Tempo. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Jody Jackson on Westwood One.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
Knock, knock, Capital One Bank guy.
Wow, Charles Barkley?
I just moved into the neighborhood. Can I borrow some Wi-Fi?
Sure, Chuck. That's what the Capital One Cafe is here for, open 7 days a week.
Oh, can I use your ATM? My dog walker only takes cash.
Anything for a neighbor.
Can I try the catchphrase?
Sure, take it for a spin.
There's no fees and minimums on Capital One checking accounts.
Nice, Chuck. I'll take it from here. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Visit CapitalOne.com/bank guide for details. Capital One and a member FDIC.
Progressive presents Heroes That Keep Truckers Going. Today's hero, all the furry four-legged co-pilots out there. Pets like Axel, Bandit, and Smokey, who may not understand humans but do listen to you rant about young people today for hours. Thanks, heroes. Know what else keeps safe truckers going? Saving an average of $6,181 when they elect to share their ELD data with us. Get a quote at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. 2025 National Average Safe Driver Enrollment Discount Savings for new Progressive customers. Excludes mandatory program participants. Not available in all states. Driving data could increase or decrease premiums at renewal.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong?
I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code GROW to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code GROW. to borrow up to $10,000. Use code GROW to borrow up to $10,000.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Adaptive Health. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Paid for by Action Matters.
Attention anyone who has had a colonoscopy, endoscopy, or any other scope procedure. If you or a loved one developed a serious infection or health complication after a scope procedure, you may be entitled to significant cash compensation. Dangerous infections have been reported across the country linked to Olympus endoscopes. Olympus scopes may have been defectively designed, and manufacturer instructions may not have been adequate in enabling proper disinfection, putting patients' health at risk. If you or a loved one were hospitalized for a bacterial infection within 90 days of a scope procedure, or developed sepsis, organ failure, HIV, tuberculosis, an antibiotic-resistant superbug, or another serious complication following a scope procedure, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Call now to find out if you qualify, but hurry. Time to file a claim could be limited.
Call 800-891-1857 now to see if you qualify. That's 800-891-1857. 800-891-1857.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Rafita out of the shotgun. He'll take the snap back to throw. Looking left, throwing left. Spivey makes the catch inside the 15. Loses a man at the 10. Still on his feet at the 5. He's in the end zone.
Boom.
Touchdown, Arizona.
What a play by Trey Spivey that time. He catches the ball on a quick slant, and he just breaks ankles on his way to the end zone. Big time play by Trey Spivey.
Arizona Wildcats football.
Here comes the posse, and they sack him. Navy shirts everywhere.
They are swarming tonight.
Your most in-depth coverage starts right now.
Caught, inbounds, touchdown, Arizona.
This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Trey Spivey, one of the 7 players Arizona took to Big 12 football media days down in Frisco, Texas this week. It'll be his second season here at the University of Arizona, the Hamilton High School grad in Chandler.
I learned this week why they called it Frisco, Texas.
Really?
It's because a railroad went from there, St. Louis, through there to San Francisco.
Really?
So they call it the Frisco Railroad, and that's where Frisco, Texas got its name, because of San Francisco.
I would not have known that.
I didn't know that.
History lessons from J-Dub. I love that.
Well, I'm like, Frisco, the only connotation I know of Frisco is San Francisco.
Right.
Yeah. And sure enough.
Do you remember what was the movie with Brooke Shields when they were stranded on her and the other kid were stranded on the island? Blue Lagoon.
Yeah.
Do you remember what they called San Francisco?
I do not.
San Frisco.
San Frisco.
Yeah, because they were young kids. They couldn't pronounce it.
Controversial movie.
San Frisco. Yeah, they probably couldn't make movies like that.
They could not make that movie today, no.
No. Blue Lagoon, not today, no.
No. Not
Maybe
at
you
all.
could do Castaway again, but definitely not Blue Lagoon.
Trey Spivey last year, 23 catches, 381 yards. He had 7 touchdowns. He chatted with our guy Jordan Ham from Sports 360 AZ this week over at the Big 12 Football Media Days. And here is what he said about what he wants to do for his quarterback, Noah Fafita.
Our relationship has been great. It's been awesome. You know, getting to build with a person as good as Noah is rare. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just I'm super grateful that I've had a person like Noah in my life to help me through this college experience and just be a brother to me. And I feel like the Heisman stuff, like I feel like if anybody watches, anybody does their research on his film, his leadership, and how he impacts the game, anybody would obviously see like why we believe he's a Heisman, not candidate, but will win the Heisman. I think it's my job as a receiver to not only help the team win, but to give him the Heisman. Like, he deserves it. Like, he 100%, on any given team would be the highest impact player there is. So, he's a baller, like, true and true.
So there you go. I mean, and this is one of if there was a storyline that came out of top takeaways, as we like to say, if there was a top takeaway from these media days this week, it's one, what Brent Brennan said. Noah Fifita is the best story in college football, and they are this Heisman thing is for real. They want to push this kid to having a chance to win the Heisman Trophy this year. And I'm going to tell you, I said my number one. There's a lot I'm going to be watching when we get to fall camp here in a couple of weeks, but the tight ends and the evolution of that group is going to be one of those things. But this kid, Fifita, has got some weapons this year. He's got, because the wide receiver room is really, really good. I think it's as good as we've had here in quite a long time. So there's not going to be a lot of excuses, because there's a ton of pass catching talent that Noah Fifita is going to have out on the field this year. And I think maybe more so than he's had in his previous seasons here at the University of Arizona.
And it's kind of like a disconnect, right? Because last year, all anybody talked about how the Big 12 had was quarterback league, right? There was just so many good quality quarterbacks around. Noah Fifita is voted as the preseason quarterback for the first team all-conference, but I haven't heard a single talking head nationally mention him anywhere near any of the other people that you think of in that conversation, like Arch Manning. And I'll tell you one thing, Trey Spivey's going to talk about it. Brent Brennan's going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Because Noah Fifita is never going to talk about wanting to be a Heisman. Come on. Like, just listen to the guy. Like, there's a lot of people being Noah's spokespeople right now, because as we all know, I mean, Noah's just all about the team, all about the wins, all about doing the right thing. He's not about, patting himself on the back.
And when you look at what he's got in that room, I mean, we mentioned obviously Trey Spivey, Chris Hunter, who I'm expecting huge things from. That's the one guy I want to see step to the forefront this season is Chris Hunter. He's got the makings. I mean, this is his last chance. Redshirt senior. This is his last opportunity. He's got the makings of a big-time wide receiver, but he's got to prove it. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. 35 catches 2 years ago, just 27 last year. He can be a guy that catches 50, 60 balls, but he's got to be able to stay healthy and be on the field in order to do that. Giovanni Richardson, we saw his evolution as a freshman last year. He's going to be, I think, a big-time player in this offense. When you talk about Giovanni, Chris Hunter, Trey Spivey, Isaiah Mazzell, those four alone. We talked to Mackenzie Hamilton yesterday about Brandon Phillips. He's another guy that's been on the edge of a potential breakout, but he's got to stay healthy and was not able to stay healthy last year. Went into camp and looked like he was going to be that breakout player, and then the injuries crept up. That taking the tight ends out of it, that's at least five guys right there just from the wide receiver position who could be big-time performers in this Arizona Wildcats offense.
I think Seth Doege, right? I mean, think of the style that Seth Doege brings. He's now entering his second full season, right?
Right.
So, like, the idea that the recruits, you always have recruits for your coordinators, more even so than the head coach, right? So the style the coordinators put in, and Seth Doege's style, I mean, why wouldn't you come to Tucson if you were if you're a five-star DK, we all know you go to USC, right? But if you're a, hungry kid and you see what Seth Doege's office is all about, and what Noah Fifita is doing, it just seems like you're going to see that consistently under this setup with Seth Doege as offensive coordinator, because, why wouldn't you want to come play for that style of offense?
All right. Meanwhile, there are the Sun Devils up the street, and they've got a very interesting schedule that they're going to have to deal with this season, because they are going to have to go play over in London at Wembley
They get
Stadium.
Like crumpets and stuff.
tea and crumpets
at concessions.
I don't know.
It's not hot dogs, right?
Yeah, they might have something crazy over there.
I can tell you right now, there's actually a little game where you can look at stadium foods across the globe, and you can vote on which you prefer. Every time that England comes up, it is mushy peas, beans on toast, and for some reason, there are some of the worst donors I have ever seen. Like, the meat just looks bad.
Don't talk trash about mushy peas, because that'll start you a fight with some people.
That will start a fight. Also, the most loaded baked potatoes you've ever seen in your life. Those potatoes, I don't know if there's even potatoes in there because of all the stuff they put on top of them.
Sun Devils are going to open their season against my dad's alma mater, Morgan State, at Mountain America Stadium. Then they've got to go the next Saturday and play at Texas A&M before they hop on a plane and go play the following Saturday at Wembley Stadium in the Union Jack Classic in a conference game against Kansas. They will get a week off after that before they play their next conference game at home against Baylor. Let's hear from Kenny Dillingham on the difficulty that is the first part of the season for Arizona State.
It's definitely a challenge. I mean, I told our team the biggest challenge is us this year in managing the schedule, going on the road at A&M and then going straight from A&M straight to London week 3. Like, that's a challenge of its own. And I wanted to do the London game because at the end of the day, college football is still about these players. It's still about 18 to 22-year-olds and their experience, in college and the memories they make, hopefully good memories. But it's about those memories, and sending 105 college kids to London to experience something they may never experience again is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And even though it makes our schedule more challenging, everything's challenging in its own light, and we're going to have we created a challenge for ourselves, but if we go take care of business, play the game we want to play, prepare how we want to prepare, it could also bring us together, and we could turn it into a positive. That does create challenges in the schedule, puts our bye week 3, and then us having 9 straight games is another challenge of keeping our bodies healthy. So this is a great challenge for our team to be able to play a difficult schedule, not just versus teams, but logistically, and find a way to navigate through it. And that's the maturity that I think this team has.
And the 9th of those 9 straight games will be the 100th playing for the Territorial Cup here in Tucson on November the 28th. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. We'll be doing a lot of talk about 100 Territorial Cup games in this rivalry between the Wildcats and the Sun Devils.
The storyline of them playing 9 straight games would be bigger if Arizona wasn't doing the same thing, right? Their bye week's on week 3, week 4. U of A.
Yeah.
Yeah, so U of A has a bye week early, same thing.
All right,
they're just not going to London.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We get to go to Pullman.
Hey, that's close enough, right? London, Pullman, come on.
Pullman, Washington. It's not the end of the world, but you can see it from there. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. All right, when we come back, we'll have our Casino del Sol replay, and you'll hear from Sophie Cunningham, who's back in the desert tonight with the Indiana Fever.
And she brought her pointer finger.
And she brought her pointer finger. Exactly. We'll let you hear what she called Dewana Bonner. You'll get a kick out of this for sure. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Crash at Broadway and Wilmot and Broadway Boulevard. Big brush fire occurred. I-10 near Wentworth Colossal Cave Road. Westbound I-10. Westbound side of I-10 is closed at Wentworth Colossal Cave Road. And there are very, very heavy westbound backups on I-10 near Colossal Cave Wentworth Road. An extreme heat warning until 8 tonight. 81 the overnight low. 105 tomorrow and 107 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic.
This report is sponsored by My Doctor Now, your same-day family doctor.
Never wait to see your family doctor again. At My Doctor Now, you don't need to take time off work or even schedule ahead. Open 7 days a week. It's your family doctor. Available same day, every day, guaranteed. Go to My Doctor Now, your same-day family doctor.
With Bet365 early payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Sponsored by Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Find a store at metalsupermarkets.com. 15 years ago to the day after his Major League debut, Mike Trout came off the injured list and did something all too familiar. Hit another home run to give the Angels an 11-0 lead against the Texas Rangers. Trout had been out 17 games with a strained hamstring, but that didn't keep fans from voting him into next week's All-Star game. I'm Adam Abdallah.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Summer's finally here, and we're kicking it off with a whole lot of free. Free brake pads with Duralast rotors. Free oil filter with 5 quarts of oil. Free Armor All wipes with Armor All glass cleaner, and more. More free, so you can have more summer. Celebrate free at AutoZone. Now through July 27th. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Good evening, ma'am. We're the Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team, here for the overnight install of your new AC unit.
Great. Come in. We're so excited for a sleepover.
Oh, well, we're actually putting you and your family up in a hotel for the night. We work while you sleep.
Oh.
Okay, who's ready for a movie night? Popcorn or s'mores?
You know, that sounds pretty good.
No, it doesn't.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. Providing overnight installs so you don't miss work or leisure time with your family. GoodfellasAC.com.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code GROW to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code GROW to borrow up to $10,000. Use code GROW to borrow up to $10,000.
16 enrolls you in a recurring recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Adaptive Health.
So, what is it that scares you the most?
The blue trucks from Essential Pest Control, Doctor. They leave bugs belly up.
I use one of those national companies.
Thanks, Doc. Those guys don't scare me.
Spring is bug season. Go blue with Essential Pest Control. We'll eliminate those bugs, bees, and termites. Buy local and stop paying too much with those national providers. Essential Pest Control is a bug's worst nightmare.
I can't sleep at night.
Essential Pest Control. Call 866-3029. That's 866-3029. Or visit essentialpest.com.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, the big game of the night in the WNBA right here in the desert. Fever Mercury. Caitlin Clark will not play in the game. Aaliyah Boston, though, who sat out last night's game in Los Angeles, is expected to play for the Fever.
When are we going to get to sat out podcaster as a reason?
Did you see that the Politicos are now chiming in on the WNBA's treatment of Caitlin Clark?
I did.
Yeah, they apparently there's a bunch of
11
Congress people who sent a letter to Kathy Engelbrecht. Maybe I'll read this to you tomorrow. It is long, but yeah,
we don't have to.
I don't know that any of these or any of these Congress people from Arizona, I don't think any of them are. But we'll get into that a little bit more tomorrow. But yeah, they don't really like the way that the league is handling the treatment of Caitlin Clark. So Sophie is back, and Sophie, of course, Sophie Cunningham played a large portion of her career. This is her, I believe, 9th season?
Yeah, it was like 7 in Phoenix, right?
She played 7 seasons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm sorry. This is her 8th season. She played her first 6 seasons here in the Valley for the Phoenix Mercury. This is her 2nd season in Indiana. There was the incident after a little bit of an entanglement. This was not the foul that everybody's talking about. This was a little bit earlier in the game. That game, or actually, I think it might have been the first game that they played. This was the first game they played where Alyssa Thomas got tangled up down low with Caitlin Clark, and they both got assessed a technical. And then there was some chirping between Sophie Cunningham and DeWanna Bonner. DeWanna Bonner, of course, played part of last season in Indiana with the Fever before kind of asking out of her deal and then ending up back here alongside her wife, fiance. I don't know if they're married or not. I forget. So this is what on a podcast earlier, I think this was like either yesterday or the day before. It's Shannon Spake's podcast. It's called Sons and Daughters. Here's what Sophie Cunningham had to say about the now infamous viral finger pointing incident with DeWanna Bonner.
Here's my thing. So first of all, I know that it is dumb. Like, I know that there's nothing special to what happened, but if you know the history amongst players, amongst teams, like once I get in someone's head, like it's game over. It's game over. And everyone's like, oh, she had 2 points. Yeah, but I stirred up a whole freaking rivalry amongst two teams. So like there's more to the game than just stats. Let me give you that. And so in that moment, you know, we were kind of just like going back and forth and whatnot. And Caitlin got a technical, and looking back, I think both of them deserved a technical, like trying to clean up the game, whatever. And so I wasn't even speaking to Miss Priss over there. And I was just like, hey, like if Caitlin got a tech, I think she deserves one. Like wasn't even looking at her. And I just like kind of pointed, and it made her mad. And she was like, don't you point at me. And I was like, oh, shouldn't have said that. And so then I just like didn't say a word. I did not say a word to her. And I just pointed. And good thing I got my nails done the day before. So I felt good about myself. But it is ridiculous. That meme is literally everywhere. It's starting to go kind of worldwide a little bit, which like I think is hilarious. Because simply like I thought that it would be my mouth that got me in trouble. It was simply just like my sass that got me in trouble that time.
So Miss Priss is what Sophie referred to Dewana Bonner.
Quick, because you're the wrestling fan among us, Dragon Ball, how much of this do you believe is a little bit of extra just for the cameras?
Absolutely. This is kayfabe. This is absolutely kayfabe. And those that don't know wrestling
What's
vernacular,
kayfabe? For those,
kayfabe is what you do when you're on camera. That's the character you project. It is the storyline that you need to protect at all costs. And right now, this is Sophie Cunningham protecting kayfabe for herself as well as her team, because they need to show out that they're a little bit tougher than what they actually look like. Because quite frankly, we're talking about this whole subject. We're not talking about the fact that this is a unit in Indiana that seemingly cannot stay healthy for a long extended period.
I mean, think of the hype coming out of Iowa, right? And like what's happened the last 3 years since then, missed the whole season, and everybody out there thinking that this is going to be their time. And then the Pacers make the finals in the middle of all of that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that fan base is the Indianapolis, obviously, you know, the de facto home of basketball is Indiana. So they're basketball crazed out there. And the fact that, you know, Caitlin Clark, a once-in-a-generation type player, comes and the expectations are through the roof. And I think a lot of the behavior has to do with that when you see Aja Wilson winning multiple titles out in Vegas and, you know, you're sitting at home.
Yep.
So, and here's the thing. I mean, when Sophie was an incredibly popular player here, when she was running with Brittany Griner and Diana Taurasi. I mean, she started her last 3 seasons here. She started 20, 31, 21 games. She's not started more than 13 games with Indiana, but arguably she's a more popular player now in Indiana than she was when she was here. And when she was here, there was one season she averaged 13 points, and another season when she averaged 11. So her only 2 seasons in WNBA when she averaged double digits were here in Phoenix. And now her last 2 seasons, she's averaged right around 9 points per ball game in Indiana, but yet she's a incredibly more popular player now playing next to Caitlin Clark than she was playing next to Brittany Griner and Diana Taurasi here in Phoenix.
Here's the real question of the day. What percentage from X Factor are positive versus negative when Sophie Cunningham gets introduced?
Not that much of a difference.
You just said it. I mean, she was very popular when she was here, and over the last few weeks, she's done everything to aggravate the very proud and very long-lasting Phoenix Mercury fan base. Been around forever. They're well known to be one of the best fan bases in the league.
Not only that, but again, it's a situation of, think about the players you just mentioned, DK, in Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner. How much does that take the magnifying glass off of you when you're playing next to 2 stars and legends in those two?
And when Sophie got there, they were already legends.
Yes. Yeah. So needless to say, Sophie was popular because she was doing the little things that people needed extra players to do to take the pressure off of Deanna and Brittany and the rest of that cast. Over here in Indiana, it's like, okay, you need to do a little bit more because Caitlin's having difficulty getting on the court, and Aaliyah Boston, how much work can honestly she put in when she's the only person that seemingly is staying healthy for this potential playoff?
Kelsey Mitchell's pretty healthy, too.
Kelsey Mitchell. Okay, yeah, this is true.
All right, let's give you your Casino del Sol replay for today.
The Casino del Sol replay is brought to you by Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
Mateo Stoka joined us from FC Tucson. Very interesting background. Plays soccer at Marquette. His dad was born in Argentina, so he has Argentine bloodlines. I asked him if he ever got to a point where he could make a national team, would he play for Argentina or would he play for the United States?
I mean, obviously, just being surrounded by the Argentine culture and my dad and his family, I think it's just, something that I grew up in, and it just feels natural. But it would be hard to decline U.S. Obviously, we're born and raised, so I don't know. To answer your question, no clue.
So what's been your impression of this World Cup tournament? There's many people that believe that this might be one of the best tournaments of all time, and the one thing we've kind of talked about is it just seems like all the major stars have really stepped up in this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just talking to one of my roommates here, and we were just saying, like, how many goals these guys are scoring, what the record is. It's insane. Obviously, the extra game is helping, but, yeah, I definitely think it's one of the better ones, especially being in the States and being able to – I was lucky enough to go to one of the games, Argentina versus Austria, which was awesome. So I think we're biased as Americans, but, yeah, I definitely think it's one of the better World Cups.
So now you said you went to one of the games?
Yeah, I went out to Dallas a couple weeks ago when they played Austria, so that was an awesome experience.
Wow. So how did that come about?
I mean, like I said, my dad and his brother are both kind of diehard Argentine fans, and they were going, and they said, we can get you a cheap ticket. I ended up sitting up in the nosebleeds while they were sitting in the lower bowl, which was an experience in and of itself. But just to be able to be in the stadium was awesome.
Now, did your little brother get to go too?
Yeah, my little brother and my two cousins. So the whole family was there cheering him on.
Wow. So dad and his brother were down low and you guys were up top, but everybody was there. That had to have been so cool. Had you ever been to a World Cup event before?
I have not. That was my first. I've been to a couple like Copa America games and stuff like that, but obviously World Cup's different energy, different juice. So it was an awesome experience.
Today's Casino del Sol replay is brought to you by Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
All right, Mateo Stoka and his FC Tucson compadres, they've got a huge game coming up tomorrow night, 7 o'clock out at Keno North Stadium. Get on out there and support the side. They need you. It's a must-win situation. Tomorrow night, it's Fan Appreciation Night presented by Vantage West. FC Tucson, Capo FC, they enter the final weekend. They're in third place in USL League 2 in the Southwest Division, just 2 points behind second place Redlands FC, with only the top two teams advancing to the postseason. So FC Tucson must defeat Capo FC, but they still need some help. They need Redlands to either tie or lose their season finale to first place Ventura County. So must win and get some help for FC Tucson. Get on out there and support the guys. Again, the club enters Friday's finale riding a remarkable 17-match unbeaten streak at home. They are 14-0-3 dating back to the 2024 season at Keno North Stadium. So should be fun out there tomorrow night. That is going to wrap up our show for today. Thanks to Mateo Stoka for joining us from FC Tucson. Also, Ted Przelski from the Tucson Sentinel, bringing his soccer knowledge to the program as well. Always great to talk some soccer with him. We'll have to get Ted back on and ask him just like who he's seen, if there's any of the players in this current version of USL 2 that he's seen that could potentially make it to the top levels.
Are there any
of the
Erling
soccer.
Hollands in this league?
Ooh,
No.
I don't know about that. That's asking a lot. For Dragon Ball, for Cricket, for J-Dub, my name is David Kelly. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. We'll talk to you tomorrow. This is DK on the Sports Tip. You're listening to Wildcats Radio, 1290.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic. With a collision clearing Broadway and Wilmot and Broadway. Northbound Oracle at Suffolk, a reported stalled vehicle. Big news for I-10 near Wentworth Colossal Cave Road. A large brush fire. Westbound I-10 remains closed at Colossal Cave Wentworth Road. And that's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. Your logistics business moves fast. Is your team keeping up? Express Employment Professionals connects you with qualified talent fast. Express helps you hire smarter and stay productive. Visit ExpressPros.com for an office. Express Employment Professionals, respecting people, impacting business.
Hey, it's David Kelly, DK on the Sports Tip. Don't forget to download the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. It slaps. We've got full coverage of the Wildcats, the Suns, the Cardinals, the Diamondbacks, Pima College. Download the Wildcats Radio 1290 app today.
Tobacco Barn presents the continuing saga of Captain Tobacco.
We now join our damsel in distress tied to the railroad tracks, a victim of high tobacco prices.
Help! Somebody save me!
Never fear, my dear. Captain Tobacco is here.
Captain, high prices are coming down the track.
You'll never stop my high prices. Pardon me while I untie this fair lady.
It's Tucson's only place to save up to 40% on all your favorite tobacco products.
There, you're free.
My hero.
Rats.
You'll pay no city or state sales tax because they're on the reservation, and save up to another $3 off with a coupon at tobaccobarntucson.com.
Now for you, high prices, I dare ya.
Hooray!
That's why I'm Captain Tobacco, fighting high tobacco prices everywhere.
Captain, I could just kiss you.
Oh, no.
Oh, brother. Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check tobaccobarntucson.com.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Adaptive Health. Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong?
I just got hit with a car repair bill, I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code GROW to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code GROW to borrow up to $10,000. Use code GROW to borrow up to $10,000.
Prepare yourself. Something extraordinary is about to break loose right in the center of town. Get ready for Casino del Sol. Bigger, brighter, bolder. We are where excitement doesn't just rise, it erupts. We are where fun doesn't just elevate, it takes flight. We aren't just a casino. We are the beginning of a new era. We are Casino del Sol, an enterprise of the Pascua Yaqui tribe.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Make sure your family is well taken care of with life insurance. Protect your phones, laptops, and more with electronic device insurance. And cover your furry friends with pet health insurance.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com.
The day shuts down.